The Bears have won the toss. They've elected to receive. The Vikings coming off a win over Tampa Bay last week. The Bears coming off the miraculous comeback against the New Orleans Saints. Lynn Milburn is deep to receive the kick of Mitch Berger. Both teams 2-2. And we're underway in the Metrodome. Milburn second in the NFC in kickoff returns. Bumped into his own man and goes down at the 18-yard line. Then into Ryan Wetnight. And good coverage by the Vikings, who are number 1 in kickoff coverage. The Bears, led by Shane Matthews, he finished strong, hit 12 of 14 passes in the last 2 minutes last week to beat New Orleans. Olin Kreutz the center, Valerio and Perry the guards, Williams and Brockemeyer are the tackles. The running back, Curtis Enis, is the leader. He's 6th in the NFC in rushing. He's got Edgar Bennett with him. Matthews checking off at the line. It's Enis picking his way, and a good pickup up to the 25. He gets 7 on the play. Orlando Thomas, the free safety, took him down. The Minnesota Vikings have given up points and given up yards on defense, but they moved Jerry Ball. They've got him back from Cleveland, and John Randall goes outside. Corey Miller had the Vikings' first interception of the season last week. Orlando Thomas, Robert Griffith are the safeties. The corners will be pressured, especially Ramos McDonald. 4 wide receivers in for the Bears, and Matthews throws, completes to Marcus Robinson, who's out of bounds at the 34. It's a first down for Chicago.
You know, one of the things about this Chicago offense, Sam, is they bring people in and out all the time. They lined up in pro set on the first down. They came out and ran the ball right at the heart of the Minnesota offense, which is Jerry Ball. Then they come back on second down with 4 wide receivers, invite nickel onto the field. This is a team that'll keep the personnel groups coming at you fast.
We've got 2 tight ends in now. Wetnight caught 6 passes last week. Enis on first down gets about 2 on the play before he's brought down. What are your thoughts about, a little pushing and shoving?
No, hey, this is the black and blue division. This is Chicago's first division opponent, and they know the importance of facing a division opponent early in the season.
And the Bears, remember, they were embarrassed last season in December here in the Metrodome. They were beaten 48-22, and Dwayne Rudd, the linebacker, taunted them.
It's a rivalry. You know, the rivalries carry the blood. You don't forget those little things when you have a rivalry.
Vikings change personnel on the front line. 3 wide receivers in for the Bears. Matthews throws and completes to John Allred. There's a flag on the play. Allred brought down at the 46-yard line. He's picked up enough yardage for a first down. It looks like it was offside against Minnesota. So the Bears will pick up another first down on the play.
Offside. Defense, number 56, lined up in the neutral zone. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
That's Chris Dolman, who's returned for his second tour of duty with the Vikings, one of the great all-time pass rushers. You look at Dennis Green, 8th year as head coach, longest tenure with one team in the NFL. Bears, good drive so far. The draw to Enis coming back the other way across midfield. Picks up 5 on the play. Ed McDaniel, the middle linebacker, number 58, made the stop, but good play calling by the Bears.
Well, what you want to do is when you get in nickel, you know that Minnesota is going to have their pass rushers. Here's Dolman. Watch him try to get upfield. Now, what you do is you run the draw right back to where he was. That's exactly what the game plan was. That's exactly what the play called for. They know Chris Dolman's going upfield to rush the passer. They hit it underneath with a run. Nice play call.
On 2nd and 5, just across midfield. Matthews swings it out to Edgar Bennett. He's chased down, rolled out of bounds by the middle linebacker, Ed McDaniel, but he's got enough for a first down. 3 straight first downs for the Bears.
Sam, check out the offensive line protection of the Chicago Bears. Watch Big Cat Williams right in here. Look at this arc. They don't get the push. Watch. And out comes Valero right here. Watch this jack. Boom. Lifts him off his feet, puts him down. Shane Matthews standing back there with confidence. That's how Shane Matthews has confidence. That's why he has the passing percentage that he has right now.
Enis on first down. Ankle tackle. Down to the 41. John Burrow made the stop. Burrow came over from Atlanta, signed as a free agent with the Vikings.
Sam, you see the fast pace that Chicago is coming at the Minnesota defense with? I mean, that keeps you off balance. That's why everyone says, boy, this is a hard offense to get a feel for because of all the personnel groupings and how fast they come at you.
3 wide receivers for the Vikings, for the Bears now. The play fake, swing it out to Bennett. Matthews was pressured on the play by Goldman and had to get rid of it quickly. And a poorly thrown pass. Bring up a 3rd and long for the Bears.
Well, if they go shotgun here, you know, this Metrodome crowd gets real loud, and they have to go on a silent count. That's a burden for the offensive tackles outside. They have to look in at the ball to see when it snaps. They also have to look at who's the defender. Blockermeyer's going to have to look in at the ball and then look out at Dolman, who's going to be on his outside shoulder.
Matthews calls timeout, wants to talk this over with the coaches on the sideline. Nice play of the drive for the Bears. They'll make that play when we come back.
You know, personnel groupings, the nickel team comes in, and that's the front 4. Now, Dolman comes in at right end, and John Randall slides over to the left end spot. And they move Burrows inside and Clemens inside, where normally Tony Williams and Jerry Ball man the run-stopping part of the defense.
You actually have 4 defensive ends in there on the front line. 6 defensive backs in for the Vikings. Glenn Milburn in the backfield for Chicago. Everybody out. The rush is on. He gets rid of it. It's dropped by Curtis Enis. Enis had been split out. The pass thrown a little behind him. Good pressure from Burrow and Dolman.
Well, you know, Foch Fazio was on the sideline saying, watch the screen, and watch John Randall. He feels the screen coming out here. He doesn't want to get sucked upfield. See him stop, and he waits on Enis. Excellent awareness of where the back's going to be. He knows when Big Cat Williams turned inside and said, go ahead upfield. You see him stop? That's a smart player.
Robert Tate is in for the injured David Palmer. Sauerbrunn kicks it high. Tate lets it drop. It's covered and caught. Beautiful play by Frankie Smith, who got down there and pins the Vikings down at the 2-yard line. What a great kick and a great play by Frankie Smith.
That's why Smith was in the Pro Bowl as a special teamer last year.
5.2 seconds hang time for Todd Sauerbrunn here in Minnesota for the Vikings, who went 15-1 last season, lost in the NFC Championship game to Atlanta. On first down from the 2, Robert Smith gets up to the 5-yard line. Take a look at the Vikings offense, led by Randall Cunningham. 8 touchdown passes in the 2 games against the Bears last season. He's 6th in the NFC in passing, make that 3rd in the NFC this season. There you see his offensive line led by Randall McDaniel at left guard, the 10-time All-Pro. Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Jake Reed. The 3 outstanding wide receivers. Carter is a concern with a hip injury. Cunningham going long for Moss, and it's overthrown. Moss was covered on the play by Tom Carter. Chicago Bears have been playing well defensively. Got a strong defensive line in the middle. Mike Wells and Jim Flanagan. Brian Robinson and Russell Davis providing some good pass rush. Sean Harris, the leading tackler, in the middle of the linebackers. And the defensive backs, Harris and Carter, will have their work cut out for them today. Tony Parrish, Chris Hudson are the safeties. 3rd and 8. 5 defensive backs in for the Bears. Cunningham with time, looking for Jake Reed, and he was well covered, double covered on the play. So 3 and out for the Vikings. And Dick Duran, the head coach of the Bears, said field position would play a very important part of today's game, and thus far the Bears the edge in the field position game.
Well, Minnesota came out and they're trying to reestablish that deep ball which they had last year. And in my opinion, that they're trying to force it too much, Sam. They need to concentrate on some of the other weapons they have offensively.
Mitch Berger is the leading punter in the NFL. Glenn Milburn is 2nd in the NFC in punt returns. Waiting for this one at midfield. And goes right up the middle and cuts it outside. And he's brought down. Harold Morrow, an outstanding special teams player for the Vikings, brings down Glenn Milburn.
You got to love the short field.
That's what the Bears have.
Bears offensive coordinator. You know, I really like the fact, Sam, that he has come into the NFL and said, I'm not going to do what everybody else is doing. I'm going to do something new, something I'm familiar with, something I enjoy doing. The NFL is trendy. Everybody runs the same offense. Everybody runs the same defense, the same blitzes. Gary Croton comes in and says, I'm going to do things a little bit different. Hats off to you, Gary.
3 tight ends in for Chicago with Allred lined up as a fullback. Enos, no gain on the play. Outstanding tackle by Robert Griffith, the strong safety. So the Bears in excellent field position, and the Vikings come up with a good play on first down.
Well, here's a little toss to the outside. Enos are trying to get the corner. But what they don't get is they don't get Big Cat on the seal outside. When you're a big cat, that's why you're nicknamed Big Cat, it's tough to turn that corner.
Defensive coordinator of the Vikings, Coach Fazio. Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Quick toss outside, too high for Macy Brooks. Vikings are getting some pressure, and Shane Matthews has got to release a little quickly here.
Well, they throw the ball quick, and that's part of the things Foge has to contend with, is this up-tempo, fast up. That time they were trying to get a screen to the wide receivers, which he was talking about. He calls it a jailbreak. You throw things outside.
What was he looking at on his wrist, Bill?
That's all the different defense. That's a list of defenses. He thinks he can match up against personnel grouping.
3rd and 11 out of the shotgun. Matthews got time. Flash caught by Bobby Ingram. He's rolled out of bounds at the 35. Short of a first down. Kenny Wright, the rookie cornerback out of Northwest Louisiana State, made the tackle.
Now they're over on the sidelines. You can see they try to have a clearing route here, and then they come underneath. They try to push everybody deep and clear it, and then go underneath. I think they were huddled there for a second to decide whether they wanted to go for it, kick a field goal, or punt.
Field goal would have been about a 53-yard attempt. They're going to punt again. Robert Tate is deep. And Todd Sauerbrunn. 2nd punt. Again high. Good hang time. Bears down, trying to down it, but it bounces into the end zone.
You know, again, there they chose to go with the field position. He thought about an attempt of a long field goal, but he figured if I miss it, I don't want to give the Vikings that kind of field position. Try to pin them down there. Dick Duran playing the field position.
This afternoon, it's football. Tonight, it's baseball on Fox. The American League Division Series. The Boston Red Sox trying to stay alive against the Cleveland Indians. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. The Indians will go with Bartolo Colon. Kent Merker starts for the Red Sox, who won yesterday to stay alive. That's the only series still going. The winner of that series will meet the Yankees in New York beginning Wednesday night, and we'll have that for you right here on Fox. The Vikes, 2nd possession. 3 and out for the 7th time this season on the last possession. Cunningham throws the screen to the tight end. It's knocked loose. Loose ball rolling toward the end zone, and it's picked up by the Bears. Touchdown, Chicago.
Sean Harris.
The ball was knocked loose by Rico McDonald out of the hands of the tight end, Jim Kleinsasser, and the Bears recover for the touchdown.
They try to come out with a screen of their own. Screens are tough. Unless you run screens all the time, they're tough to get the timing down on. Here, Minnesota tries to fight back with a screen of their own to counter some of the things Chicago's doing. Bam, Chicago sees this every day in practice. They were there to blow it up.
Bears lead the league in fumble recoveries with
Minnesota
10.
has challenged the ruling on the field that the pass was complete and a fumble.
So a challenge by the Vikings head coach, Dennis Green.
Here's Kleinsasser as a fullback, slips out underneath the screen. But see, his linemen aren't out in front of him. Kleinsasser is out there before, in front of his linemen, and that's what I'm talking about, the timing.
Sean Harris, great recovery. Now let's see, did he have this ball, Bill?
I believe he did. In his hands, pulls it in. He's turning upfield short. That's a caught ball and fumble.
That is what the referee will be looking at. And the referee is Jeff Triplett. First year as a referee, 4th year as an NFL official. He was a back judge for 3 years. Now he's talking to the communicator upstairs. Once he starts looking at the replay, he will have 90 seconds. Another look. Kleinsasser's got the ball. Looks like a reception to me, Bill.
Yeah, that's a reception. Plus to the fact with a touchdown after it, a signal touchdown on the field, I don't believe they'll reverse this.
And now the referee looking at the replays to make his decision. He's the lone man to make the decision. And the NFL supervisor of officials is here. Jerry Seaman is in attendance at today's game. So if there's any question, you can go right to the boss. But it looks like the Bears have scored.
And Jerry's had some questions, too.
Yes, he has.
People have asked some questions, but for the most part, this thing is held up very nicely.
And he's got somebody who's on the competition committee. In fact, Dennis Green, the head coach of the Vikings, has been named the co-chairman of the competition committee. He's been on the competition committee the last 4 years, and he is for replay and thinks the system is working and will work better in what it was designed to do. Great hit on the play by Ricardo McDonald.
Great hit on the play and great reaction to the play by Ricardo McDonald. This is actually taking a little bit longer than I thought it would.
I like the look here. Again, the other factor is you must have conclusive evidence to overturn the ruling on the field.
I think this is the best angle because you see him pull the ball in right here. That's possessing the ball.
We're getting to that 92nd time. We're over it. And now the referee.
Well, if it goes past the 90 seconds, it has to stay exactly what it is on the field. The call on the field, if it goes past 90 seconds, is the call that stands.
And Jeff Triplett discussing it a little bit further. Here comes the announcement.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The receiver had 2 feet down before being hit and fumbling the ball. The score will count for Chicago.
All right, a timeout is charged to the Minnesota Vikings. And a touchdown for Sean Harris and the Chicago Bears. 9:10 remaining, first quarter. The Bears strike first, led by their defense, and their defense was great last week against New Orleans, kept them in the game until the offense came alive in the last 2 minutes.
Well, you know, Greg Blosh was talking about, hey, it's a tough decision. How am I going to be able to get after him? Create those fumbles for a touchdown. That's a good start.
Sean Harris has had a big start to this season, having been moved to middle linebacker. Jeff Jager will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Todd Sauerbrunn. And it's through. And the Bears strike first. The fumble recovered by Sean Harris. Touchdown, Chicago.
Is brought to you by GMC. Do one thing, do it well. By Phillips, technology that's making life better all the time. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. And by the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever.
First NFL touchdown for Sean Harris. Bears' 10th fumble recovery of the season. Todd Sauerbrunn will kick it off. Robert Tate and Mo Williams are deep for Minnesota with David Palmer out. Palmer, one of the leading return men in the NFL. There's a strange kick. It's picked up by the tight end Kleinsasser, and he stepped out of bounds. Maybe he should have let it roll. It might have bounced out of bounds. They would have got the ball to 40-yard line.
Exactly right. That's another mistake by Kleinsasser.
Randall Cunningham talking things over with Ray Sherman, the offensive coordinator, and heading out on the field.
Well, look, this is exactly where you want Randall Cunningham. Because when you blitz him, you can see how much more ineffective he is as a passer. And when you create pressure on him, he's down now. The team is down. Greg Blosh says he wants to come at him, ball that fist, and keep swinging. He knows if he sits back and feels them out, they have too many weapons.
Jim Kleinsasser, the tight end, is lined up as the fullback. The play fake by Cunningham, running for it. Good pickup by Cunningham across the 40 to the 42. Gets a first down for Minnesota. Barry Minter made the tackle.
Well, that's okay. You know, that's okay. You'd like that all day than be able to sit in the pocket and bombs away at you.
Why is that? Even if he picks up 14 at a clip?
Oh, yeah, I don't think he can do that the entire game. You get a couple hits on him as he's going down, he'll be a little bit more tentative. I'd rather have him running than have him bombing at you.
Cunningham checking off at the line. Short drop pass, batted away.
Robinson.
Brian Robinson, who has really improved his play at defensive end, hasn't he, Bill?
He's getting confident. You can see him playing with confidence week in and week out. You know, here's a guy who was down in St. Louis. He was a backup, and then he didn't play too much last year, but as a starter now, he's feeling himself as like, hey, I'm an NFL starter, and you see it every week. Here's the rush at the top of the screen. He gets the hands up high over Corey Stringer. Last week, he played exceptionally well.
Won't set back Robert Smith. 3 wide receivers in for the Vikings. Chris Carter has played. Here's Smith carrying outside. Robert Smith, first time in his 7-year NFL career that he's gone 4 consecutive starts without a run of over 15 yards.
Well, and I think that running game, as we talked about, is what was missing from last year. Because when you have 7 in the box, you'd like to run against them, especially with that big offensive line you have. But Robert Smith had knee surgery in the offseason. Corey Stringer had surgery. Dixon had surgery. Christie had surgery. And Randall McDaniel had, all those guys had surgery. That's why your run game hasn't been up to par.
Leroy Hort in the backfield on 3rd and 6. Cunningham throwing and completing to Randy Moss. First down at the Bears 42. That's what the Vikings like.
Here's Randy Moss working on Walt Harris. And Walt Harris, primarily, he keeps good coverage on him. Right there's the separation he gets. And you see the hand pull him through. Did you see how Moss used that hand to pull himself through? That's what he's learning to do now, because he knows people are playing him more aggressively. He's working at finding ways to get off the jam.
15-yard pickup on first down. It's Robert Smith. Not much of a hole. Pushes across the 40. Down to the 39-yard line. Tony Parrish made the stop for the Bears.
We were speaking of Randy Moss and how he's got to work to get open. And last week, they moved him in a lot of different places. They brought him in at slot. He played 9 times in left slot and 2 times at right slot. And then he was out wide, left 17 and 24 times right. They're moving him around so defenses can't isolate on him and say, he's going to be right here, and we're going to bracket coverage him and jam him. This time he's all the way up the top.
They've got 4 wide receivers in. Leroy Hort in the backfield. It's Hort carrying. Spins across the 35 down at the 33. Time for an NFL update. Back to the Fox Television Center to JB.
Sam and Bill. Warner to Bruce was a hookup earlier in the quarter. Here it is again. Little corner pattern by Bruce. 2nd touchdown reception. Rams taking out their frustration on the Niners. 14-0. Back to Sam and radio star Bill Moss.
Thanks, JB. How about those Rams?
There's a new sheriff in the West.
Kurt Warner.
Unbelievable. What a great story. What a great sports story. You know, there's something the NFL needs. When you have Barry Sanders gone and Reggie White gone and some of the great, now it's somebody else new coming in. And what a story it is from where he came from.
Vikings were the story last season. They're trying to get the magic back. They've got 5 wide receivers, empty backfield on 3rd and 1. Short drop. Cunningham has time, goes outside, and it's dropped. Incomplete. Juggled and dropped by Chris Carter, the man they always go to on 3rd down, or almost always. And this time he dropped it.
You know, it's just amazing that he's even playing. He had that hip flexor last week. See if he pulls this in, 1 foot down, 2 foot down, and then he extends the football forward there. See that?
He thought it was a catch. There, the Vikings are going to go for it on 4th down. Leroy Hort, number 44, missed last week's game with a knee injury.
Carter wasn't even expected to play this week.
Well, he had the hip injury, didn't practice until the end of the week, but he's ready to go. We'll be right back. at the Chicago 33. The Vikings have not had a good field goal kicking game this season. They're only 4 for 9 with 3 field goal attempts blocked. They're going for it. It would have been a 50-yard try. Carlester Crumpler is in at tight end to the right side. 3 wide receivers. Leroy Horde, the lone setback. And throwing for it on 4th and 1 down the sideline for Moss, and he's got it. Randy Moss with a great catch against Walt Harris. First down at the 6-yard line.
Unbelievable that they're 4th and 1 and they still have that much confidence in their pass game. You see Randy Moss get off of Walt Harris, actually grab his shirt and pull himself through. This team is a team that needs to get Moss the football to feel good about what they're doing offensively.
He's got 2 catches already, 15 on the season. 27-yard pickup, 1st and goal Vikings. Cunningham on 1st down, fires, batted into the air by Walt Harris. Flag goes down. Looks like interference.
Offense. This is going to be on Chris Carter.
He was battling on the play. Carter called for the interference.
Here's Carter here. Watch him how he saves this interception. He comes inside, he just pulls Walt Harris down.
10-yard penalty remains, 1st down.
Now he sees where the ball was thrown, and he knew he didn't have a shot at it. Walt Harris was right there. He grabbed the shirt and pulled it. Everybody is grabbing Walt Harris's shirt and throwing him around. Moss is over there doing it to him to get open. Then Chris Carter on the inside. Watch.
Great position by Harris, and you're right, he would have had a pick there.
Well, better to be at the 16 than have it coming out the other way and come out of there with no points at all.
It's 1st and goal for the Vikings at the 16. They've got 3 wide receivers in. Leroy Horde on 1st down. Down to the 12-yard line. Mike Wells was in on the tackle, along with Ricardo McDonald, the outside linebacker.
You talk about a tough man. At 97, Mike Wells is one tough individual.
Plays at 315 pounds, originally drafted by the Minnesota Vikings.
Last week had his fingernail ripped off his hand, completely torn off his hand.
On the first play of the game. Had some surgery on that finger this week. 2nd and goal, Cunningham. The pump, the throw to the outside for Jake Reed through his hand. They're going at Walt Harris, aren't they?
They sure are. They like that matchup. The pump fake there was what brought the opening. Now they try to bring Hudson, the safety, over the top to help out on Reed. I want you to watch. Here's Hudson, the safety, and he's going to come over the top. But watch the pump fake by Randall. It brings Hudson back inside. See him? He jumps back on the inside with the pump fake, and that gave the separation outside for Reed.
11th play of the drive for the Vikings. There's it going through the hands of Jake Reed. Cunningham just 3 for 8. 3rd and goal from the 12. Cunningham outside to the tight end, Andrew Glover. Upended at the 8-yard line. Walt Harris was there. And so was Warwick Holdman, the rookie linebacker out of Texas A&M, who's been a good one for the Vikings. Dennis Green looks on. He sends his field goal kicking unit onto the field.
You know, the one thing about Greg Blasch's defense is that it's giving up yards. It's a kind of bend but don't break defense. What they're good at, though, is they're 6th in the NFL in points allowed. They're only averaging giving up about 16.5 points a game. And this is the strength of it right here.
26-yard field goal attempt for Gary Anderson. And he hooks it through. He's 5 for 10 on the season. They've been concerned about the kicking game. They've had 3 field goal tries blocked this season.
I think he's only had about 3 blocked in the last 10 years. And he had 3 already this season. Part of it, the protection fault up front, and then part of it, Gary's fault. He's been hitting the ball low, and it may be that new K-ball. He doesn't feel comfortable kicking that new K-ball.
That's interesting. 7-3 with 3:04 to go in the first quarter. The Bears lead it. Dennis Green trying to get his team to forget about last season.
Forget about
Create an identity for this season.
Well, that's hard to do. That's real hard to do when you're near perfect. You're 15-1, and you're taught at such a young age to get better. You got to get better. As a football player, every offseason, you've got to get better. You've got to become faster, stronger, work out in the offseason. Well, it's pretty hard to get better when you're 15-1. And when you come out and you start the season and you're not as great right away as you were last year, now all of a sudden, what's wrong with us? We're not that good.
Yeah.
They need to just concentrate on the things that they do well. There's a lot of talent on this Minnesota team.
Mitch Berger to kick off. The strong leg. Milburn 3 yards deep, brings it out. He's hit hard at the 20-yard line. Big hit on the play. Chris Walsh leading the way, one of the top special teamers. Coming up, some of you will see the ultimate in head-to-head competition. World champion and Olympic athletes join forces as Fox Sports presents the Grand Slam of Skating World Super Teams Challenge. Check your local listings for the start time in your area.
That's coverage. When you come in and weave your way through everybody and get your head across the bow of the body as he did.
And the rookie Cade McNown, as he's done in every game, comes in. This is on the third possession for the Bears. Sends everybody out and throws for Milburn too high. This is by design. The coaching staff has it planned. They talk about it the night before. And they get him ready. He's prepared to play each week.
Well, you see, he doesn't have a headache there. That's not a migraine. He's covered up those ear holes because of the crowd noise. Now, when you call the play in the helmet and it comes through that little microphone in the helmet, well, that's hard to hear in there when you have that crowd noise coming in the ear holes.
Enos and Bennett in the backfield. A draw to Enos. No gain. Thrown down by Big Jerry Ball. That's what they got him for, to stuff the run. They list him at 320. He's got to be more than that.
Get in my belly. That's where he comes to. Look at the ball carrier. He gets right in his belly. Womp.
What a mass of humanity. Big Jerry.
There's not too many. I'm not going to say too many. There's no defensive tackles that can play that long and as long as he has in the NFL inside and hold up.
He's been bothered by a hamstring injury, and he limps off there. James Allen in the backfield for the Bears. On 3rd and 11. Boy, it's loud in this building. McNown under pressure. Gets hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. 3 and out.
Clemens was in there. Robert Griffith, the strong safety, was up in there. And I don't know if that was such a good idea, Sam. I know they've been sticking with the format of getting Cade McNown some reps to see how he goes. But I just don't feel that at this time in the game, when it's backed up, now you're worried about the field position. Here's Griffith, 24, coming in on the blitz. I don't know if that was a good time. Not on the road, not in the division, not against the Minnesota Vikings.
Randy Moss is deep to return this punt by Todd Sauerbrunn. Here's Moss from the 41. Little dancing, off balance, and goes down. Good coverage on the play by Frankie Smith, number 29 for the Bears. 39-yard punt. Moss did it in college. And here's Jerry Ball on the sideline. He's hurting. He was injured last week. Tweaked a hamstring. Had a similar injury last season.
I don't know where you can find a hamstring on him. He's got it taped up. You can see the tape right here. He's got it all taped up, but I'm not sure if he's grabbing the hamstring here. I think it's something else. I think it's the way he landed on that tackle.
Now the field position game is shifting in the Vikings' favor. As they start from the 41, Jim Kleinsasser, the tight end, is lined up as a fullback. Off the play fake, Cunningham going outside of Moss. His 3rd catch of the game. Cut it back inside to the Bears' 41-yard line. Time for another NFL update. Back to JB in the Fox Television Center.
Sam and Bill, and it's much the same. 4th straight game that Warner has thrown 3 touchdowns. Today he's thrown 3, all to that man, Isaac Bruce. That one 45 yards. Guess what? Rams all over San Francisco, 21-3. Now in the 2nd. Back to Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. It's been a long time since the Rams beat the 49ers, but they're on their way, and they're at the top of the NFC Western Division standings. On 1st down, Robert Smith burst through the hole. Inside the 30, the ball popped loose. Is it a fumble or did the ground cause it? Smith went down. The Vikings recovered at the 27.
Well, they got that offensive line rolling that time. You see great Jeff Christie up front. He gets and then Stuzy at the end. Look at Stuzy downfield blocking. And look, I don't know. Is it knee down? Knee down, knees down.
Ball spotted at the 27. First down for the Vikings. Good run by Robert Smith. Cunningham, another pump fake, deep, and it's incomplete. Try to get it to Chris Carter. Walt Harris covering on the play.
Watch 55, Sean Harris here. Try to get this. He's blocked, but watch him try to throw that leg out there.
Ooh, yeah.
I've been in that situation before. When you're engulfed with a blocker, you throw your body any way you can around up there.
2nd and 10 for the Vikings, who now have 4 wide receivers in the game. Chris Walsh has been added to the big 3. Robert Smith, the lone setback.
There's Moss inside.
Short drop, goes to Moss, threw it a little behind him, but he caught it, and he's down at the 22-yard line. 4th catch of the game for Randy Moss. He had 4 by midway in the 2nd quarter last week against Tampa Bay, and that was all he got the remainder of the game. He was shut down. But he is certainly a big part of the Vikings game plan, and Dick Jauron and the Bears will have to find a way to stop him. We've come to the end of the first quarter. The Bears scored on the fumble recovery. The Vikings kicked a field goal. 7-3 Chicago. The Bears hold a 7-3 lead on the Minnesota Vikings. But the Vikings threatening. Those were the first points scored against the Vikings in the first quarter this season.
Well, you can see the number of runs to passes, and actually one of those rushes was the Randall Cunningham scramble,
right,
which was supposed to be a pass. So it's about half. You know, this is a team that I thought would come out and really try to establish the run, but they feel that they can do it passing the ball. They like their weapons outside. They're going to stick to it.
3 wide receivers. Lone setback, Leroy Horde. Randall Cunningham got rid of it, almost intercepted. It was dropped by Frankie Smith. He was right there. The ball was in his hands. Big pressure from Clyde Simmons on Cunningham.
First of all, the pressure is the key. Look at everybody up, and he thinks it's blitz, but here comes they missed assignment up front. He gets hit, and he forces the ball into the middle of the field where there's 3 defenders. He doesn't see the field well under the pressure. He tries to force balls. He tries to get rid of it. He doesn't see what's going on around him.
The Bears hold. The field goal from 40 yards by Gary Anderson is good. He's 2 for 2 in the game. And the Vikings have cut the Bears' lead to 1. It's 7-6.
Sunday is brought to you by E-Trade. It's time for E-Trade. By Midas. Go safely. Go Midas. By Motorola, a leader in wireless personal communications. Motorola lets you take your world with you. And by the new redesigned Saturn S Series.
Well, that's a good look, but this isn't a good look. Here's Randy Moss on this play. Here's Cunningham with the pressure. Moss is wide open, man-to-man on the outside, and he stops. Nobody's around him, but with the pressure, Cunningham forces it into the middle of the field. Another missed opportunity in the red zone, Sam. That's one area that they really struggled this year. Last year in the red zone, they were fabulous.
He's lucky he wasn't intercepted. Frankie Smith dropped it. Pittsburgher on the kickoff. Glenn Milburn from the 7. Fires through the middle. He got tripped up. There was an opening. He could have broken it for a big return, but he was tripped up on the play by Rob Holmberg, the linebacker. Next week on the NFL on Fox, it's a Fox Sunday doubleheader. It starts with Minnesota against Detroit, Philadelphia at Chicago, and then the second game, Green Bay at Denver. Pat Summerall and John Madden will have that game in Carolina with George Seifert going against his old team, the San Francisco 49ers. Cade McNown, who was 3 and out on the last series, stays in as they want to give him some plays. Wet Knight, the tight end, in motion. Enos carrying. It's about 3 on the play. Time for an update. Back to the Fox Television Center to JB.
Sam and Bill, San Francisco saying, wait a minute now, I'm not giving up that westbound that easily. Lawrence Phillips, 2.5-yard run to pay dirt, have now drawn within 21-10 of the Rams. That in the second quarter. Back to Sam and Bill.
Lawrence Phillips starred in NFL Europe to get his career back on track. Macy Brooks is in for Chicago. 3 wide receivers. McNown out of the shotgun. Gets time and completes to Ryan Wetnight. Up to the 39-yard line. It's going to be very close to a first down. Robert Griffith on the tackle and trying to wrestle the ball away from Ryan Wetnight.
Well, 2 things, Sam. I'll go back and I'll say this again. I'm not so sure you play Cade McNown right now in this ball game. And I go back to the series before. And if you feel that strongly about him, then maybe you should start him. Because your defense has done an outstanding job keeping the Minnesota Vikings off the board to 6 points when they were down in your red zone area twice. And you got your Shane Matthews. You have confidence in him. He has a high passing percentage. You don't want to blow this game.
But here he's got a first down. Again, Wetnight in motion. It's Enos inside for about 3 on the play. John Randall made the tackle. I like the idea, though, of getting McNown the experience. And against a tough team led by a great defense and John Randall. Now, how about Randall being moved outside? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's for obvious reasons. I mean, the long pass rushers can stay in this game. If you're a good pass rusher and you can rush from the outside, you can play a long time. He's not going to play a long time in the middle, banging against that wall of 3 and 4 guys all the time. You know that the tackle's playing you inside out.
McNown throwing on first down, complete to Enos out of the backfield. Big pickup as he goes out of bounds inside the 40 to the 37. Good job by Curtis Enos staying inbounds and picking up an extra 3 yards on the play.
This has got to be a blown coverage. Here's Enos out here. And look, there's nobody over here. The safety comes over, but there's nobody. The backer doesn't come out to pick him up. They take Hitchcock deep with Curtis Conway, and then nobody picks up Enos out of the backfield. That's the backer's man. That's a blown coverage.
A good play for the Bears to recognize it, especially the rookie quarterback Cade McNown. On first down, he swings it out to Curtis Conway. Short pickup down to the 35-yard line. Kenny Wright took him down. Curtis Conway slow to get up here. He was one of the stars in the big comeback win last week as he caught 2 touchdown passes. Great efforts.
Well, great effort.
Minutes. Look at this play. Dives for the touchdown.
Yeah, and the thing about it is they were short completions too. Not what Curtis Conway has been used to completing over the years. He's always been thought of as a deep ball guy. But heck, he's getting the ball in his hands a lot more. And when you're a wide receiver in this offense, getting the ball in your hands, that's the attention. The football is the attention. He's got to be ecstatic as much as he's getting it.
Right now, there's concern as he limps to the Bears sideline in some pain. Marcus Robinson will come in to replace Curtis Conway. Let's see what happened here, Bill.
Well, I tell you, he goes outside into traffic. He should have cut this ball back up inside and followed his blockers because he ran outside. You see he gets rolled up there on the sidelines where the defenders were. When you run that screen, you don't want to run into where the defenders are. Use your blockers. He had an inside seam, cut back inside of it.
3 wide receivers in for the Bears. On 2nd and 8, Wetnight in motion. Looks like Dolman jumped. Now they're blowing it. They're stopping the play, so maybe he was drawn offside. Let's check out the penalty here. Curtis Enos, he's already got it decided. He's trying to help the officials out. There's Jeff Triplin on the call.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense. Number 56, 5-yard penalty. Maine, 2nd down.
Dolman, he's going to jump in here. He's in the neutral zone as the ball snapped. He's there, and now the ball snapped. The play's blown dead.
Mark the ball inside the 30. Chris Dolman coming back as they lured him out of retirement. Going against Blake Brockemeyer.
I think he was trying to come out of retirement.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he was getting a hold of Minnesota Vikings.
McNown checking off. Goes back in the shotgun. And and the ball wasn't snapped. Let's see. People moved. Kreutz never snapped the ball, the center.
Well, I want you to watch inside. That's a tough thing when you're in the shotgun.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5 yards remain, second down.
That's on the left tackle, Blake Brockemeyer.
Well, what they have to do is they have to look inside at the football. You see, there's the foot. That means that's telling everybody he's ready. Now he's waiting for it, and he moves his head and not the ball. So when he moves his head, his offensive linemen are looking at tackles or glancing inside with their peripheral vision. They saw the head move, and they thought it was the football.
So they've traded 5-yard penalties. Back to 2nd and 8. McNown throws, and it's incomplete. Intended for Marcus Robinson.
Oh, got to catch that ball. You have to catch that ball.
.11:14 remaining, second quarter. Bears scored first on the fumble recovery by Sean Harris. And the Vikings have come back with 2 field goals. Bears have good position here. A couple of more yards. They'll be in territory for Jeff Jager. Brockemeyer against Dolman. Big matchup on the left side. McNown under pressure. Tries to cut it upfield, but he's knocked out of bounds by Dolman, who chased him down. Short of a first down.
Hey, you talk about earning your paycheck. Brockemeyer, look, he's got to look inside. He's looking outside, looking inside, looking outside, because he has to look inside to see when the ball's going to be snapped. He doesn't know who to block. He's got Dolman coming inside of him. Then outside comes John Randall, and it's the noise and the ball getting snapped. Hey, he picked up a nice paycheck coming from Carolina as a free agent. He's earning it today.
Jeff Jager is 1 for 4 this season. He will attempt a 49-yard field goal. Sauerbrunn the holder. It's on the way, and it fades wide right. So the Bears, led by Cade McNown, marched into scoring territory but failed to get it.
Hip flexor, and I want you to watch. He's going to grab this side of it, see, and he's limping off a little bit. That thing's still bothering. Of course, you can always grab that thing when you realize it's short and right, too.
Vikings take over at the 40. Blitz coming. It's picked up. Cunningham throws and completes to Randy Moss. At the Bears' 44-yard line, Walt Harris takes him down, and they are working Walt Harris overtime.
But I don't think you can blitz this far off the line of scrimmage because it just doesn't get here. Here's Parrish, and the ball snapped, and he's coming from back here. The ball, he's not even a factor. Watch. He's not even anywhere near the quarterback, and Cunningham has all day. If you're going to blitz, you've got to blitz closer to the line of scrimmage so you can get in his face.
16-yard pickup for the Vikings.
Otherwise, stay in coverage.
Yeah, 5th catch of the day for Randy Moss. Trying to throw it short. Mike Wells almost picked one off.
Well, he has the bad fingernail. It hit him in the fingers.
There you go.
There, you got it ripped off last week. He came and talked to us. He had his thing in a cast, and he's all bloody and cut up. And I wanted to watch where the ball hits him. Here's 97.
Oh, got him in the arm. See the hands. He might have had a little stick him on the hands, and maybe would have caught it. Good play by Mike Wells. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings.
He's a draft choice here for the Vikings.
Yeah. Didn't have a spot. Said Henry Thomas really helped him. Henry Thomas now in New England. Smith going outside. Slips one man. Brought down by Van Tooney, number 90.
You know, he was here in Minnesota, and Henry Thomas, he got cut that year. And then he caught up with Henry Thomas, and he told me Henry Thomas taught him everything when he was up in Detroit. I want you to watch 97 right here. He beats the front side guard, and then they tackle him. I mean, that's what a force he is. That's a down block, and he crosses a face. That's how strong he is. And he said he's not the same player as Henry Thomas. He doesn't have the quick hips. He can't get skinny in a hole, but he has to play things the way he plays them. Henry helped him get his game together.
On 3rd and 6, the rush is on, the blitz coming, and they got him.
That's
Frankie
how you
Smith.
blitz. That's how you do it. From the slot, up on the slot receiver, near the line of scrimmage. Here's how you get pressure. Here's Frankie Smith right here, up inside, and he gets a quick jump. Randall Cunningham once again had the backside of the field wide open.
Mitch Berger back to punt. His second of the game. Good high kick. Almost scraped the top of the dome. Bounces inside the 10, and the Vikings dare to down it at the 1-yard line. A little over 5 seconds hang time for the NFL's leading punter. A 50-yard punt for Mitch Berger. 50 yards per punt. Only one player ever finished the season with a 50 or plus average on punts, and that was the great quarterback, Sammy Baugh.
Well, Milburn never has a chance to field it here. He stays at the 10 where he should. And the thing about Berger is he hung it right in the middle of the field. He didn't hit directional kicking. You know, a lot of teams are directional kicking, trying to aim for the sidelines, not to give the returner a chance. He went right over the top of everybody, hung it inside the 10 right in the middle of the field, gave its coverage unit time to get it.
Shane Matthews is back in at quarterback for the Bears, who start from their own 2 with a lot of noise and 3 tight ends in. Curtis Enos stopped just as he came out of the end zone. Wayne Rudd with the initial hit. The man who taunted the Bears last season, but said he feels bad about it. Said if he had it to do over again, he would have just run into the end zone with a fumble recovery and handed the ball to the official. Got fined $5,000 for that taunting. Matthews being rushed, throwing deep, and it's incomplete. Intended for Bobby Ingram. He was covered well by Jimmy Hitchcock.
Hitchcock did an outstanding job of pinning Conway to the sidelines. He has him pinned up tight against the sidelines. Look, there's no room for the quarterback to throw the ball down there. Shane does what he could do best with the situation, but the receiver Conway didn't allow any room on that sideline for Matthews to get him the ball.
My apologies. I called Ingram. It was Conway back in the lineup, and that's good for the Bears. 3 wide receivers in for Chicago. They've got to get to the 12-yard line for a first down. Everybody out. Matthews throws short to Enos. He spins to the 11. It looks like he's going to be a little short. Ed McDaniel, the middle linebacker, number 58, made the stop. And they may measure on this one. This is a big measurement for the Bears. Field position now in favor of the Vikings.
They appear shy.
And it is about half a yard.
I was using my keen senses, Sam. I talked to that eagle. That eagle was out there looking at it.
He's your spy,
yeah,
huh?
And he told me. He looked at it and he said, hey, they're short. You got to trust an eagle.
And with you do, huh?
You got to. Eagle eye.
Sauerbrunn to punt out of the end zone. Randy Moss is the man deep. With David Palmer out and the field position in favor of the Vikings, they're hoping for a good return here.
Yeah, you hope there's no Jason Sehorn in this.
Reference to the Giants defensive back who was injured on a kickoff return last year. High kick toward the sideline, not risking a return, but it's not a long kick.
And this field position sure is changing.
Yes,
the Minnesota Vikings have turned the field back in their favor.
This spot is at the 38-yard line of the Bears. There's that eagle you talked about.
He told me.
Starting field position, and right now the Vikings will start at the Bears' 38-yard line. Early in the game, the Bears had the advantage. Now things have shifted in Minnesota's favor, though the Bears maintain the lead at 7-6.
I think it shifted when McNown came in and they went 3 and out. I think that's when the field position started to switch.
A missed field goal. That hurt the Bears. Smith gets outside with a big hole. and cuts toward the sideline. His biggest run of the season. Robert Smith inside the 10. Tony Parrish takes him down. 30-yard run for Robert Smith, his longest of the season.
Watch, there's nobody outside. There's a block down here. Look at that great seal by the tight end. What a tremendous block by Glover. Glover was the one that sprung that whole thing. That was a sensational block by Glover. And then you get the receivers downfield. Did you see the receivers downfield? Look at Moss. He's got Carter tied up.
At the 8-yard line, 1st and goal with Leroy Horde in the backfield. It's Horde carrying. Trying to bull his way through the hole, gets down close to the 5-yard line. Well, that's what they wanted to do. They've been passing, and finally sprung Robert Smith.
And Greg Blasch knows that this offense, I mean, he held him to 2 field goals there in the first quarter, and that's a tough thing to do. And you have to play the field position thing. That's what Dick Duran talked about. That's what they had to do. Then they're getting the short field. It makes it tough on your defense.
Vikings not as good in the red zone inside the 20-yard line this season as they were last season. They've got 2 tight ends in, Glover and Kleinsasser. Cunningham throws, tip, and incomplete. Looked like Shane Burton, number 94, may have gotten a piece of that.
I believe he did. I believe you're right.
Good job by the front of the Bears.
Well, you can see the push they have inside. And there's 94. See his hand get up? Oh, no.
Oh. My apologies,
Yeah, that was
Russell Davis.
94, 95. They're at the far end of the field. It's tough to see.
Davis, 2nd-round draft pick. Done a good job for the Bears. Here's their big play for Minnesota.
The big down for the Bears as well. Keeping them out of the end zone. They've been able to do it twice so far.
Cunningham. Faking, looking, too high. Hits the crossbar. Trying to get it to Chris Carter. And once again, the Vikings don't get what they want. Deep in Bears territory. They will send out the field goal kicking unit again.
And Randy Moss is upset. He came flying off the sideline, shaking his head, didn't discuss, and he's that kind of competitor. Every time that things go wrong down there or they don't score, and he just feels if he's not getting the ball, he should get the ball.
Anderson's try will be from 23 yards. And it's right through. He's 3 for 3. The Vikings have the lead for the first time in the game.
Hey, and if you are Chicago, you've got to feel real good about what you're doing defensively.
Randy Moss. Was he open here?
Well, he feels he should have had the ball thrown to him. I don't think Randall Cunningham saw him.
Pretty good coverage there. He wasn't open. He wasn't open.
You see how he stuck his hand up high? That's his thing. He feels that no matter who's around him, get the ball high. He said it before. Nobody can jump with me. Get the ball high. No one can jump with me.
This is good, though. They go and they talk things over. Moss, Carter, Cunningham. And here comes Jake Reed. The pass way too high for Chris Carter. He's a big receiver and can get up there. He's athletic. Much too high for him.
Well, he's had that hip too. He's had that hip flexor. That probably took a little something out of his jump.
No way he gets that one. And the discussion continues. This is interesting. That's real interesting. What do you think about that, Bill? The way they, surround Randall, and it's like they're all saying, throw it to me, throw it to me. Berger kicks off. Lynn Milburn backs up, 7 yards deep. No. Edgar Bennett says, stay where you are. Bears start from the 20-yard line. 6:13 to go, first half. Vikings have the lead for the first time. 3 Gary Anderson field goals.
And like I'll go back. Greg Blasch, he's got to be ecstatic right now. It's early. It's very early. He's got to do this for the whole duration of the game for 4 quarters, but to let them inside your red zone. The Minnesota Vikings, 15-1 last year, to let them inside your red zone 3 times and only give up 3 field goals. That's the kind of ball you have to play.
Allred is lined up in the backfield as the blocking back. Enos goes in motion. Shane Matthews. Curtis Conway takes it up for a first down across the 30-yard line. So Conway is okay after limping off the field earlier. He was running well on that play.
You know how hard it is offenses to defend. You talked about Greg Blasch having to. How about Foch Fazio having to defend this? Look at this. Here's the fullback. He's going to come through here. Here's the running back out here, Enos. Watch everybody. People are going everywhere. Look, everybody. Here's the one down the seam. Guy over here, guy here, guy there. They're everywhere. You try to defend that.
Milburn's in the lineup now. Everybody out. Matthews throws to Milburn. Good catch. And he's ridden down by Ed McDaniel up at the 37-yard line.
Eddie Mack. Number 24 is a guy that they want to get the ball to. Glenn Milburn is one of those guys that every time he touches the ball on the field, whether it's kickoff return, punt return, he is electrifying. He can make something happen. Except right here, Eddie McDaniel's made sure nothing was going to happen.
Pickup of 7 for the Bears, 2nd and 3. Matthews checking off. Matthews goes short to Conway again, a first down up at the 43-yard line. 3rd catch of the game for Curtis Conway, who came into the game tied for the NFC lead in receptions with 24.
And that's what I talked about earlier, that you had mentioned he's a guy that gets the ball underneath a lot. Not the deep ball anymore, but in this offense, it's got to be so exciting to be able to get the ball in your hands all the time. The ball is attention. And if you've got the ball, you've got the attention.
2 tights, 2 wides. James Allen, the lone setback. Short pickup up to the 44-yard line.
Jerry Ball with the ball. He's pleading. Look at Jerry pleading his case.
Jerry Ball back in the game after earlier limping off with a hamstring problem.
You know, we talked about Eddie McDaniel and the stuff he had on Glenn Milburn. It makes his job so much easier when Jerry Ball's in front of him.
Matthews rolling and completing the incomplete.
Oh,
that should have been caught. Bobby Ingram, the intended receiver. Ingram's had some big games against Minnesota, especially last December when he caught 9 passes.
Chicago is a good team, and they can move the ball. But what kills them is the mental mistakes like this, the penalties, and the turnovers. These are drive killers. This offense has the capability to drive the field, to chew up the clock, and to put points on the board afterwards. They've been unable to do that throughout the first 4 games of the year for reasons like that.
Bears are 0 for 5 on 3rd down. Matthews being pressured, but he throws for a first down. That's going to be spotted for a first down. Marcus Robinson was brought back off the catch. There's a flag on the play, and it's against Minnesota. Roughing the passer.
Yes, sir.
First 3rd down conversion for the Bears.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 93 of the defense. 15 yards. First down.
That's big.
Ball's out. 1, 2, 3. Gets a piece of it.
John, you know better than that.
You know, when you're a defensive lineman and you have to rush against that 3-step drop and that quick stuff, it gets really frustrating. Real frustrating. Anytime you can even sniff them, you want to get a piece of them to make your efforts worthwhile in some way, shape, or form.
The Robinson catch was at the 45. They tack on 15 to the Vikings 30. First down for the Bears. Wet Knight in motion. Being pressured, it's blocked. Chris Dolman with the block. The pass falls incomplete. 15th year in the NFL for the man out of Pittsburgh, Chris Dolman.
Here's Dolman. Watch him working. He comes inside on a loop. This is a 3-man stunt. The tackle comes that one way, and Dolman comes inside the end trying to loop around, gets his hands up.
Now, he's a Pittsburgh man. You're a Pittsburgh man. He's still playing. How come you're not?
I'm a little bit older.
Oh.
A little bit. I recruited him. Actually, we played in the high school all-star game together, and then he went to Valley Forge Military Academy, but I recruited him the year after.
Matthews through the hands. Curtis Conway.
There's another one, Sam.
That should have been caught. That's 2 drops for Shane Matthews. Hey, that's what you were talking about. The Big 33, the All-Star game in Pennsylvania.
1980. That's right.
There's Chris Dolman. A little thinner then.
We were both captains of the team.
Hey,
and I'm the same
still
size.
look the same. 71. Bill Moss.
We had some great teams at the University of Pittsburgh.
Yes, you did. Shane Matthews, 9 for 16, 77 yards. Here's 3rd and 10. Have to get to the 20 for a first down. Matthews running. After him is Randall. The long pass is incomplete.
Oh, my goodness.
Conway dove. The ball hit the ground.
There's another one, Sam. It should have been caught. Shane Matthews was getting run down by John Randall and Chris Dolman. Yeah, another catchable ball right in his hands. That's 2 by Conway, 1 by Ingram, and now they have to try a long field goal attempt with Jaeger, whose hip's hurting.
48-yard field goal attempt. Jaeger missed earlier. He's 1 for 5 on the season. This one is away, and it's no good. Not even close. Dick Geron's going to have to think about replacing Jeff Jaeger next week. They re-signed Gowans to the practice squad. Bears can't have this.
Well, what is he? He's 1 for 6 now in field goal attempts this year.
And this one, that last one wasn't even close. The other one was short. You can't have that. When you're a team that needs to score points, like the Bears, they're not a great offensive team by any stretch of the imagination. But when they get into position, they've got to score points.
Yeah, and they've got to catch the ball, too. Hey, take him out of the equation right now. You talk about 3 drop balls on 3 passes.
And now 2 missed field goals give the Vikings good field position. This is from their own 38 with Robert Smith, the lone setback. Vikings leading 9-7. Cunningham gets time, fires, and it's intercepted by Kerry Cousin.
Bad throw.
The Bears defense does it again.
Bad throw, bad decision. And he knows it.
6th interception thrown by Cunningham this season.
Watch on the slot, coming right over here. Behind the linebacker, Cousins has good inside technique. The safety help over the top. He's riding on the inside. He's working on the inside because he knows he has the safeties over here.
Is he trying to force the ball to Randy Moss too much?
I believe so, and I believe they've been trying to do that through the first 4 games because that was last year's identity. And they're trying to force that to be this year's identity instead of letting the identity just happen to this team.
Only the 2nd interception of the season for the Bears. Cousin gets it, his 2nd of his career. Enos on first down and a big run for Curtis Enos to the Vikings 41-yard line. So the Bears come right back after the big defensive play.
How about this little counter draw? This is set up so nice. The line steps this way and the ball comes back this way. They get the defensive lineman to follow you, and Curtis Enos comes back against where the offensive line and the defensive linemen are going.
First down for the Vikings 42. It's Enos again, and he bursts through. Pick up about 6 on the play.
He runs hard.
Yes, he does.
That's one thing I like about Curtis Enos. He runs downhill with a full head of steam. And sometimes he looks like he's running like he's out of control. But he is not running out of control. He has excellent vision and waits for his blocks.
First-round draft pick last year, Curtis Enos had the knee injury, has come back and is running the ball well. Started play today, 6th in the NFC in rushing.
They're going to let this run down to the 2-minute warning.
Enos, 11 carries, 42 yards. The Bears in good field position at the Vikings 36. For the Vikings leading 9-7. We're at the 2-minute warning. And missed plays by the Bears have hurt. 5 drop passes. 2 missed field goals by Jeff Jaeger.
That's today. Hey, you think back to the field goals, they would have beat Seattle, too.
Yep. 2nd down.
Need to hire those Budweiser horses.
Matthews. He completes to Bobby Ingram. Out of bounds, just short of a first down. Second catch of the game for Bobby Ingram. Matthews has played well. Boy, the coaches really like his attitude, his approach to the game, how hard he studies and prepares and anticipates problems that could arise.
You know, he calls a lot of the offense himself. A lot of check with me's at the line of scrimmage. That 2-minute drill last week, that was all him. They don't have time to call a play down from upstairs. That was all him.
3rd and 1, wet night in motion. Enos behind Allred. First down, Bears at the 30-yard line. Corey Miller, number 55, made the tackle for the Vikings.
You know, I back to Matthews. I like the kid, Sam. I really do. I like his presence on the field. I like the way he handles the offense. You know, he's got to be the only quarterback that's ever played Chicago that no one knows who he is. You know, he could probably go to a store or a restaurant, couldn't get in.
And they'll have a baby boy. His wife
Monday.
Stephanie will give birth tomorrow. They'll induce her tomorrow, their second child. Matthews with time throws, open man caught by Conway, gets away inside the 10, goes outside, touchdown. What a play by Curtis Conway.
And what a throw by Matthews. And that's his presence. He knows, he sees the field. He sees the matchup. He had Curtis Conway on Ramos McDonald, one-on-one on that sidelines. They got the comeback. Perfectly thrown ball, and then it's Conway after that.
Ties a season long for Shane Matthews. 30-yard touchdown pass, but that was a lot of Curtis Conway with some great moves. Jager for the extra point. The Bears have regained the lead. It's 14-9. Dick Geron loves it.
There's your protection up front, too, and that's the key thing. It's the protection up front. Then on the comeback, after Curtis Conway caught the ball, Ramos McDonald came up, didn't tackle him. He's had trouble tackling people. Watch, look at this right here. Now you're going to see this. You're going to see him come up and then come back. See it? Slams on the break, come back, and then Ramos McDonald misses the tackle right there.
And then Orlando Thomas misses him twice.
That's right.
Ooh, that was tough. Great play. The Bears cash in after the interception by Terry Cousin. They march 58 yards. Shane Matthews, the high fives. He and Conway hooking up for the 3rd consecutive time. The last 2 last week, and then this one today.
How about Shane Matthews? I mean, he's got a completion percentage and a quarterback rating way up there, all the way up there next to where you would think Steve Young and Brett Favre. He's higher than those guys. He and Kurt Warner in the NFC are higher than Favre, Young, and Aikman. That's amazing.
Yeah. Right now, the Bears are doing a good job taking the crowd out of the game. Sauerbrunn, line drive kick, coming down to Robert Tate at the 3. Tate gets up close to the 30-yard line where he's brought down. Friday, catch the most original new police drama in years. It's the series premiere of Ryan Caulfield, Year 1. Then the creator of the X-Files brings you the ultimate mind game, Harsh Realm. It all starts Friday at 8, 7 Central on Fox. Vikings from their own 30 with 1:07 to go in the first half. Any replay challenges are in the hands of the officials upstairs in the final 2 minutes of the half. Robert Smith, the lone setback. Cunningham swings it to Smith. And Smith is brought down for a loss. Jim Flanagan chased him down. Great effort by Flanagan.
Well, you know, Minnesota's trying to run the screen, but they're not a team that runs a lot of screens. And they're trying to counter what Chicago's doing, but and the timing's way off. See, the play's out here, but the linemen are back here.
How about Flanagan's effort? Being hit, dove, and made the tackle. This one's out to the tight end, Andrew Glover, and he is spun out of bounds by Warwick Holdman. Down to 30 seconds remaining.
Chicago is doing exactly what they want to do. If you keep the ball, keep Minnesota's offense off the field, chew clock. Now, what they need to do is score at the end of those drives. There's another part of the equation. At the end of those drives, score. and that's what they haven't been able to do, those missed field goals.
And they did in the last one, and that was a big one. Bears leading late in the first half. On third down. Cunningham lets it fly. Did Chris Carter hold on?
Whoa,
yes, he
what
did.
a catch by Chris Carter.
At midfield, beautiful catch by Chris Carter. Fourth all time in pass receptions.
Watch this little game they play over here. There's a jet. Here's the ball thrown underneath. Now I want you to watch what they do. Randall Moss is right there. Randy Moss is right there. He never comes off the line of scrimmage. He stops. See the separation? That's so Chris Carter can come underneath Tom Carter. Carter and Carter.
No relationship. Good law firm, though. From the 49. Cunningham running. Big pickup. Hit down hard at the 33-yard line. Once again, Warwick Holdman. And the Vikings use their last timeout with 15 seconds remaining. And the guys are standing by in the studio. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris on the Visa halftime report. They'll have scores and highlights from around the league. Fox Sports ticker with up to the second stats coming up on the Visa halftime report. And there's some interesting scores around the league. The St. Louis Rams with a 28-17 lead on San Francisco. Rams trying to go 4-0. New Orleans bouncing back after the loss in Chicago, leading Atlanta 17-7. Highlights and a lot more on the Visa halftime report. Vikings at the Bears 34-yard line.
You categorized a lot more. That you know what? That is our pregame show.
Well, you know,
a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much showmanship. You got Jimmy Kimmel come in every week. He's got a new hat. They got Kevin Green on the pregame show today. He was great.
All the animated shows on Fox aren't anywhere near the animation of the pregame show.
4 wide receivers in for the Vikings. Leroy Ford, the lone setback. Cunningham goes outside to Chris Carter, out of bounds at the 31-yard line, make it the 30. They may take one try at the end zone. They have no timeouts remaining. They may take one shot deep.
Remember, they lost that timeout on the challenge.
Yes. Replay challenge earlier in the game. Gary Anderson getting set. Right now it'd be about a 47, 48-yard field goal attempt. Ray Sherman, the offensive coordinator. The backup quarterback, Jeff George, alongside him. It's second down. 4 wide receivers. Blitz coming. Cunningham to the sideline. And it is Matthew Hatchett with the catch inside the 10-yard line and out of bounds. The third-year man out of Langston College. 22-yard play. Matthew Hatchett. With the 3 top guys, he hardly gets any time.
Boy, he went up and after this ball, too.
It's another 6'2 receiver. Bears call a timeout here. 8 seconds remaining. And time for Minnesota to take a shot in the end zone here for sure. At least one, maybe 2.
Yeah, they've got roughly enough time to run 2 plays. And I don't think they'll be able to get the second play off and get a field goal out of it. So I think they got 1 shot to the end zone, and then they'll have to get the field goal unit out there.
Now, what was the purpose of the Bears taking the timeout here, Billy?
I think just to regroup for a second. You know, a lot of things happen to them real quickly here on this drive, under 2 minutes. And they've done a nice job when they've been down here of holding them out of the end zone. A win down here is keeping the Minnesota Vikings to a field goal.
Great job by the Vikings coming from their own 30-yard line to the Bears' 8. Cunningham 5 for 5 on this drive, 48 yards.
And actually, his read to the backside there was a nice job on his part. Because prior to that, every time he saw blitz, he forced it someplace, Sam. And on that time, he looked to the backside to hatch it.
Boy, would a touchdown be huge for the Vikings at the end of the half. They have 4 wide receivers in.
It would be that shot of confidence that they need right now. Because if they go in at halftime trailing the Chicago Bears, there'll be a lot of people looking at each other in the locker room.
Now they've called down from upstairs. The play is being reviewed here. Again, in the final 2 minutes, review is in the hands of the officials upstairs.
Can I tell you what? Excellent job of calling the timeout by Dick Duran. That's what he called the timeout for. Because if they ran another play, they would not have been able to go back and review this.
Is this a reception? Was he inbound?
1 foot. Comes down on the line from that angle, it looks like.
Now, was he pushed out? Did he not have a chance to get the other foot down? There's one.
His butt's down. Butt. One butt is 2 feet.
We'll see. It is being reviewed. So you think his butt came down inbounds?
One butt is 2 feet.
And that's good. Okay.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And the coach is awaiting the decision. 8 seconds remaining. Determination. The question is whether he was inbounds when he came down with the ball.
Possession in his hands. He's not juggling.
Now that left foot never got down.
Butt got down.
All right.
Possession. 2.
Now did that left foot come down?
I think he might. He had possession. I think he may have got. Let's look real quick. One comes down right. Possession. 1. No, it doesn't come down.
No, that's what I.
But the butt's in.
All right.
1 butt equals 2 feet.
I like your way of thinking. All right. Referee Jeff Triplett. He's used up a lot of time in there, to be sure. He's a first-year referee.
Maybe they're showing a little bit more.
A long delay here.
Well over the 90 seconds. So anytime it goes over that, it's going to stay as it was called on the field. A little bit of Monica.
Oh, you're starting to sing, huh? You want to entertain the fans?
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The receiver's right foot was down, and then his rear touched down inbounds before being out of bounds.
You got it.
First and goal.
You see, you're watching that guy.
You know, I'm
watching
telling
the
you,
butt come down.
I got because the Eagle told me.
The Eagle.
The Eagle told me.
Man.
The Eagle sees everything. The Eagle eye's out here today. He saw the butt.
So the butt came down, and it's a good catch for the Vikings. Matthew Hatchett, first and goal at the 8-yard line with 8 seconds remaining, and the Vikings have no timeouts remaining. 4 wide receivers in. Carter in motion. Cunningham intended for Hatchett. The linebacker Warwick Holdman was covering on the play. And 4 seconds remaining. Do they have time? No. They're going to go for the field goal now. Get the points.
Well, they had 8 seconds there, and it ran 4 off.
Yeah.
So you don't want to come out and run another play. I didn't think they had that. This is an area that's been causing them some problems. The 3 blocks they've had. The 3 blocks and the pressure they've been getting has been right in here. That's where the pressure has come.
Anderson 3 for 3 in the game thus far. This one will be a 26-yard attempt. And it's good. 4 for 4 for Gary Anderson. The Vikings have not been able to gain the end zone on the Bears. They've had to settle for field goals. The Bears with a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and the touchdown pass from Matthews to Conway lead it 14-12 at halftime. Bishop halftime report is next.
In this ball game. We are. We're really disappointed. I don't know what's wrong with Jeff. I know he's lost some confidence, but I don't know if it's anything physical. He looked like he grimaced after the first kick. If it's the hip again, you know, it's going to be a long day. But we'll just have to move in where we decide to kick the ball from, that's all. But we'll still kick. He swung pretty good on the extra points. You know, so I got to talk to him at halftime and talk to our medical people and see what's going on there.
Would you ever go to Todd Sauer run and kick field goals?
Well, we'd have to if something was really wrong with Jeff, but we just got to check the medical part of it. Clearly looks to me like he's hurting. But if it's bad enough that he can't kick the ball at all, that's when we'd go to Todd.
Dick, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dan.
All right, thanks, Dan, and certainly a cause for concern for the Bears. We'll watch that. What isn't a cause for concern is that the Bears' defense has really come up big in this game once again.
Huge. A couple things. First of all, the turnover for a touchdown. That's points you're not counting on. And secondly, anytime you can hold Minnesota, they get inside your red zone 3 times and hold them to a field goal, you're really doing something. Greg Blasch knows it's an all-day battle, and they're playing it the right way. They're playing team defense. Don't worry about the numbers. Keep them out of the end zone. There's the fumble right there. Klein-Sasser, and then the pickup. That 7 points is really the difference in the game. There's the interception, but that 7 points, if it wasn't for that 7 points right now, this right now would be a 12-7 ball game.
Yeah. Curtis Conway on the touchdown reception from Shane Matthews. Matthews has played well for the Bears. He's 11 of 19, 110 yards. Randall Cunningham throwing 1 interception, his 6th of the season. Todd Sauerbrunn to kick off. Robert Tate at the 2. And he is brought down at the 22-yard line. Once again, Warwick Holdman with a tackle. Very active player, the first-year man. First half stats, Minnesota Vikings have rushed for 99 yards. They've gotten the running game going a little bit. Big 30-yard run for Robert Smith. The passing yardage, the edge to the Bears, who've done a good job. Shane Matthews, Cade McNown was in for 2 series. The second one, he took the team into field goal position, but they missed the red zone points. 12 for the Vikings. Could have been a lot more. They were in position to score touchdowns and didn't. Cunningham gets plenty of time and complete to Andrew Glover, the tight end, up to the 35. He's pushed back and finally brought down by Tony Parrish and Chris Hudson with the initial hit. 3rd reception of the game for the tight end, Andrew Glover.
I like him. And I think he's a guy that everyone talks about the big 3, Moss, Carter, and Reed, but he's a guy that I really feel compliments him. He creates their catches for them outside because his big, fast body in the middle of the field keeps safety's attention in there and opens things up on the outside.
Moss and Carter are the wide receivers, 2 tight ends with Klein-Sasser the fullback position. Robert Smith getting a couple of yards on the carry. Good job by the interior of the Bears line.
Well, that's that big Mike Wells in there. Man, he is a load. You talk about a stout guy. Watch 97. Watch what he does here with Christie, the center. He just takes him. He got the double team. Look at him hold his ground and push Christie right into the ball carrier. You talk about strong. Whew. That's playing, boy. That's playing.
His 3rd tackle of the game. He leads all defensive linemen in tackles with 25 on the season. Robert Smith going outside. Parrish gets there, and Smith diving for a first down. We'll see where they spot the ball. He may have gone out a yard short, and he did, up at the 44.
You know, I love the war games inside here. Watch these guys and watch the blocks they get. This is what walls everything off. Glover on the outside is amazing. Look at that wall. That's the 2nd time he's done that. Randall McDaniel in there. They get that seam block, and you can see the alley. That's like a wave. Their running back just has to ride that wave. Glover's been outstanding.
There's the perennial All-Pro, Randall McDaniel. It's 3rd and 1 for the Vikings. They have 3 tight ends in. They're 2 for 8 on 3rd down conversions. Off the play fake, the bomb for Moss. He's out there, and it is intercepted. Tom Carter takes it away from Randy Moss. Carter coming back with it. Still inbounds. Now goes out across the 35. Another huge play for the Bears defense.
Play action pass. Everybody stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Here's Hudson over the top. You're talking about that brackets coverage. You're talking about cover 2, which Randy Moss has always been talking about. That's how it comes up big. Cunningham knew he made a mistake.
Brought to you by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform. Be different.
There's been a lot of talk about the impatience of the Vikings. They want to go for that big play. They did, and it cost them.
Well, they stacked everybody at the line of scrimmage. They invited the play action pass. They tried to get Moss down the sidelines. That ball was underthrown.
Bears, after a 36-yard return by Tom Carter, Enos gets 3 yards up to the 40. Tom Carter with his first interception of the season. Bears had only 1 interception in the first 4 games. They've had 2 today.
Well, the one thing the Bears are doing, they're playing team football. Team. It's not an offense. It's not the defense. Every time that whatever unit is on the field, they are stepping up and making something happen. When defense is called upon, they're responding. When the offense needs to score, they score.
4 wide receivers for the Bears. Everybody out. Matthews gets time, goes underneath to Conway. They like that play underneath to Conway, don't they?
If I was Conway, I'd like that play underneath. He's getting the ball a lot on the crossing patterns. And where the area of the field they throw it is they throw to the hash marks. Every time they run their crossing pattern, Coach Fazio knows it. He knows that ball's going to be coming out. Eddie McDaniel knows it. The linebackers know it. This time they get in man coverage, though, and they trail. I want you to watch where the ball is thrown. A little bit outside the hash mark. Okay. Well, the separation wasn't there.
Yeah. It's a first down at the Vikings 48. Off the play fake. Matthews throwing. Marcus Robinson on the reception to the Vikings 32. His 3rd catch of the game.
Hey, you want to see a way to handle play action? How to keep the linebackers from getting back into coverage? Watch this. McDaniel comes up into the play action. And I want you to watch what happens. Right here, they grab him. They don't let him get back into coverage. Look, he's trying to fight him, knock his hand down. That's the separation of the linebacker underneath.
That was the center, Olin Kreutz, who grabbed hold of him. First down, Bears at the 32. Ingram in motion. Matthews felt some pressure. Looking for somebody. Nobody open. Throws back to Ingram. Picked up some yardage. There was nothing there to begin with. Wound up with an 8-yard gain.
Matthews did a nice job of scrambling out there and buying himself some time, but talk about headaches. Talk about trying to defend this offense. Sam, I want you to watch the receivers here and the back. Now I want you to watch them as they come out of the field. Here, 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 here. They're everywhere. Look over here on the backside. That is near impossible to defend. As a defense, it'll drive you crazy.
It's a 2nd and 3. Enos starting to bounce it outside. Good power. Looks like he's got enough for a first down.
Good vision, and then at the end, good power, as you mentioned. When he gets into traffic, he has that force to lower his shoulder, and he wants to come at you. He's not shying away from any contact. He uses his vision, and then when it closes down around him, see, there's the vision, and now he knows he has no choice, and he's going to duck his head, and that's right into a linebacker.
And another first down for the Bears, just inside the 22-yard line. 52 yards in the game for Curtis Enos. He had 83 last week.
And another good drive. Yeah. Another good drive, chewing up the clock, working that defense over.
Wet Knight was the man in motion. Matthews still has it. Open man, Alonzo Mays. Inside the 10, his first catch of the game, as the Bears are using everybody.
They're everywhere. It's a headache. Defensively, how about the defensive huddle? Look at the guys in the defensive huddle. Their hands are on their hips. They're looking at one another. What the heck? Where are we? Look at this guy's in. Oh, my gosh, this guy's over here looking at the scoreboard. He's looking at the sideline. It's a mess. You've got bodies flying every direction. That is frustrating.
First and goal for the Bears at the 9-yard line. 3 tight ends in for Chicago. Wet Knight, the motion man. Enos on the carry. Ducks his head, gets to the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal for the Bears at the 5.
You know, I talked about Enos, the combination of vision and power. I want you to watch. These guys really didn't get their blocks right away. There's purple jerseys outside, but watch Enos set it up. See how he flattens a little bit right here to take that right there. Great vision, picking his hole, setting up his hole. He saw all the purple helmets and jerseys outside, so he flattened to buy himself some time to create a hole. That's great vision. And he finished at the end with power.
Conway is the lone wide receiver. He's out to the left. Matthews swings it out to Curtis Enos. Inside the 5 to about the 3. Ramos McDonald, the cornerback, number 34, came up to make the stop. Originally, I thought Matthews wanted to go to Conway, but he was covered.
Well, I can tell you this about this Chicago offense. They're getting better. And as they eliminate mistakes, as you've seen on this drive right here, when they eliminate the mistakes, they're pretty lethal. And they can damage a defense, and they can damage a team spirit.
They've got 4 wide receivers, and Enos split out. Empty backfield for the Bears. Here's another new formation for them in this game.
Watch the screen to Enos.
Short drop, quick toss, touchdown Chicago. Marcus Robinson on the reception.
That's a slant, and what a nice throw by Shane Matthews.
What a beautiful job by the Chicago Bears. After the interception by Tom Carter, a 63-yard touchdown drive.
An outstanding drive. Look, you have all these people over here, so now you have all these bodies over here. Look at all the purple bodies over here. And on the backside, you'll have one-on-one.
Jeff Jager's extra point is good. The Bears now with a 21-12 lead. Marcus Robinson, the NFL Europe hero, with a touchdown catch.
Backside, that's the weak side slant up top. The closest guy in to help him is the referee. No one's there. Robinson on Ramos McDonald.
And the ref didn't help out.
He didn't help at all.
No.
He raised his hand.
Second career touchdown reception for Marcus Robinson, first of the season. The kickoff by Sauerbrunn, taken by Tate at the 2. Robert Tate, not much room. Bears have him and take him down at the 17. Keith Burns, number 52, was there to make the tackle. Gary Croton, 9 plays, 63 yards for the touchdown, 5 different receivers.
Thing is,
Matthews went 6 for 6.
He's happy all the time, though. You know, he was so excited yesterday. He goes, heck, we're playing the Minnesota Vikings. They were 15-1 last year.
And right now, the Vikings have got to mount a comeback in a hurry. Cunningham being pressured. Caught by Chris Carter. Stays inbound. Gets enough for a first down. Good play by Carter. There was some question as to how much he'd be able to play today. He injured his hip last week. Practiced very lightly on Friday. Rode the exercise bike Wednesday and Thursday, but he has not come out much in this game.
That's not his normal walk. That walk, see, look, see a little hip swing?
Yeah.
Swing. Yeah, that's you can tell it's still bothering him.
First down, Vikings up the 30-yard line. Kleinsasser, the tight end, is in the fullback position. Smith flips the tackle. Turns nothing into a 9-yard gain. Bears almost had him for no gain.
Mike Wells had him in the backfield. Had he had that fingernail,
he might have done it.
Here's Wells right here. Wells gets some penetration real quick.
Nine carries, 76 yards for Robert Smith. He's had back-to-back seasons of over 1,000-yard rushing. Smith again into the pile, gets a first down up to the 42-yard line.
You know, this is what I think they should have been doing all along, Minnesota. I think they're throwing the ball too much. I think they're trying to force last year upon them. They have a lot of weapons. That guy sure as heck is one of them. I think they've been missing him this year.
But that's what we talked about earlier, how impatient they get. On a 3rd and 1 after a good drive, he went for it all, and Cunningham got intercepted. There's 1st and 10 at the 42. Leroy Horde in the backfield. Jake Reed is on with Chris Carter. Cunningham throws to the tight end. And Andrew Glover looks like he's got a first down.
That's working it. That's a little bit of Smith, a little bit of Glover, and then a little bit of Carter, a little bit of Monica. Yeah, that's what it is. What did you need to apply that? You need to apply that to the Vikings.
You just want to break out into song here.
You know, it's festive. It's the Minnesota Vikings. They were 15-1 last year.
We got a measurement here.
You know, the thing about Glove in the middle of the field is he lost a lot of weight. He trimmed down. He wanted to get his speed. There's the first down. He wanted to get his speed to stretch the middle of that field so he could move. Did you call that?
The eagle.
Did he tell you?
The eagle helped me.
The eagle called you. That eagle eye, he's helping. But Glover lost some weight because his receivers are so fast that he wanted to be able to keep up with them speed-wise down the middle of the field to keep the safety staying inside with him.
He's caught 4 today. Another first down for Minnesota. Kleinsasser, the tight end, shifting. Ford, nothing there for him. No gain. Good job by the Bears. Time for an NFL update. Back to the studios to JB.
Sam and Bill, if it's not the offense of the Rams doing the job, it's special teams. Second consecutive week, special teams have done the job, returning it to pay dirt. This is Tony Horn, 97 yards. St. Louis, 35-20 over San Francisco. Back to Sam Rosen and the Swift, Bill Moss.
Yes, he is, JB. Good job. And how about the Rams? That was a big touchdown because the 49ers had got into that lead big time. On 2nd and 10, Cunningham completes. No, it's dropped by Kleinsasser, the rookie tight end. Warwick Holdman covering on the play.
They love this guy. They love Kleinsasser. They love his toughness. They love what he brings to the table as far as being a fullback, an H-back, and a tight end. But he's having a tough day today. He's made some mistakes on the field goal, the fumble, of course, for the touchdown. On the kickoff, it should have gone out of bounds. He touched it, bad field position. Opportunity to grab a ball there and dropped it.
Second-round draft pick out of North Dakota. He's gone to the sideline. 3 wide receivers in. On 3rd down, Cunningham. For Carter.
Whoa, what a
catch. Inbounds.
That's
yes,
Chris
he
Carter.
Was. That's the greatness of Chris Carter. One of the all-time greats with a brilliant play along the sideline.
Watch his toes. Watch his toes on the sideline. Talk about a veteran receiver knowing where the ball is. Watch his toes. Whoop. Is that beautiful?
Fabulous.
That's art.
The completion for a first down, 4 catches for Chris
Anytime
Carter.
he does that on the sidelines or the end zone, the refs will give it to him because they've seen him do it so many times.
The Vikings marching. The pass complete to Andrew Glover. Another first down inside the 20.
Using some of your other weapons. A little bit of Smith, a little bit of Glover, a little bit of Carter, and spread it around a little bit. That's what they have. I mean, that's what makes them potent. Watch him working on the middle linebacker, on the weak side linebacker, Minner.
They haven't gone to Moss yet in the second half. At the 18, Carl Lester Crumpler, number 87, is in as the tight end to the right side. 3 wide receivers. Walsh, Moss, and Reed. Pass intended for Crumpler is incomplete.
Yeah, I was going to wonder if that thing was going to come out. I was wondering if that flag was going to come out. Tony Parrish was draped over the back of Crumpler.
And there's the call against the Bears.
Pass interference. Defense, number 47. Results in an automatic first down.
Call it on Chris Hudson.
Now, Hudson's up here. Well, I thought it was on Parrish right here. And it was.
Now, they got the wrong guy.
37-47.
There you go. Definitely Parrish. 1st and goal, Vikings. From the 9. Leroy Horde powers his way close to the 5-yard line.
And this is a package that they're getting back to. Watch this. 3 tight ends. And Kleinsasser back here. That's their heavy package. They call it heavy. They line up and try to maul you down here.
The middle linebacker, Sean Harris, who was in on the stop, slow to get up here. Now he's back up on his feet, but shaky. Real shaky. He recovered a fumble in the first quarter for a touchdown. Harris limping.
Well, they sure like the way he's taken over that middle linebacker position. That was an experiment going into camp. They weren't sure if they're going to do that. They moved Minter to weak side and Harris to the middle, and they really like the way he's taken over that position.
He's really limping heavily. He's replaced by Keith Burns, 60-year man out of Oklahoma State, who came over from Denver as a free agent. Minter has moved into the middle. Burns is on the outside.
And Kahari Samuel's in the middle.
Here's 2nd and goal. Cunningham throwing to the corner, too far. The closest man to it was Feinsaucer. And now the fans getting a little restless and a little upset with Randall Cunningham. It'll be a 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Randy Moss walking onto the field now.
Can Chicago do it for a 4th time? For a 4th time in the red zone, can they keep them to a field goal?
5th time.
5. I stand corrected.
4 possessions in the red zone, 4 field goals. Here's 3rd and goal from the 5. And the flag goes down.
Clock ran out. That's delay a game.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Word from the Bears sideline is Sean Harris has a sprained ankle.
Please reset the game clock to 3:02. 3:02. Thank you.
You know, they're actually a little bit better off right here.
Why is that?
Well, because it gives them more room to run routes. When they're down there 5 yards closer, that makes the end zone real tight to run routes. Now they have a little bit of room.
Carter's in motion. 3rd and goal. Cunningham hit and knocked down. Sacked by Jim Flanagan. And the Bears come up strong again.
Watch Flanagan through Dixon. They run a little tackle stunt inside with the tackles. There was a little twist, and what sets it up is he sells it hard in there before he comes around. Nice job of clearing the way also by Brian Robinson.
This will be a 34-yard field goal attempt for Gary Anderson. It hooks inside the upright. He's 5 for 5. The Vikings have lost opportunities to score touchdowns. Bears still lead it. Way to keep Milburn out of the game. Kick it 9 yards deep, but the Bears go on offense with a 6-point lead late in the 3rd quarter.
Love this thing. It's too nice outside.
Not retractable. Now this is a tough place to play, but the Bears have handled it very, very well.
Well, credit that to the Bears scoring early on that defensive fumble for a touchdown. That takes the crowd out of it. Now they're sitting there kind of stunned, just as the Vikings are.
Jane Matthews has completed 68% of his passes, 17 for 25. On 1st down, he's pressured, got rid of it, hit as he threw.
That was Mankind. That was Mankind Joe Phillips.
Joe Phillips, 14-year veteran, signed with the Vikings for the 2nd time in his career.
What Joe, you talk about another Mike Wells type. Watch him, he just runs right through the guard in the center and takes both of them back to the quarterback. I'm going to get there. He gets there. Right over Chris Valerio. I mean, you talk about another strong guy, the same kind like Wells is.
Vikings have 2 rookie defensive backs in the game. Chris Rogers. Here's a completion to Marcus Robinson. Kenny Wright is the other one. Short reception. Robinson pushed back. Chris Rogers, number 29, rookie out of Howard. And Kenny Wright, number 20, rookie out of Northwest Louisiana State are in the game for the Minnesota Vikings. Ramos McDonald is out. 5 defensive backs in for the Vikings.
Anthony Bass is out, too. He's on the sidelines. That's the guy that's normally in on their nickel.
On 3rd and 8, Edgar Bennett has some blockers, and he's got a first down. What a call. Bennett followed some good blocking to the outside.
I'll tell you, Gary Croton, he's creative. They create their own seams. Watch this motion here. Brings the defender over here. Now you've got this side of the field. Look at right down the alleyway with the lead blocker. That's beautiful. It looks simple. Looks like it's nothing, but that's designed well.
14-yard pickup, and it's got to concern defensive coordinator Coach Fazio. First down for the Bears at the 36-yard line. 3 wide receivers in. Curtis Enos carries. Gets up close to the 40-yard line. Wayne Rudd made the tackle on Curtis Enos.
And the Vikings defenders are getting a little frustrated. I mean, this is bothersome. They're playing hard, but they don't know what they're getting hit from all sides. They hit from the left, they hit from the right, they hit up the middle. Then they got the passes going everywhere.
And they're staying with their nickel package with the 5 defensive backs. They had it in on first down. They're staying with it. On 2nd and 7 out of the shotgun, Matthews finds the tight end Ryan Whitnight. First down at the Vikings 40-yard line.
Right down the hash marks. When they throw in the middle of the field, they throw on the hash marks. Eddie McDaniel should have known. Hey, I got to protect the hash marks. As a linebacker, you study their film. You have to know that when the quarterback looks in the middle of the field, get on a hash mark. That's where Ryan Whitnight was.
That's the final play of the 3rd quarter. Shane Matthews has gone over to the sideline to talk things over as the clock will wind down. And the Chicago Bears are leading the Minnesota Vikings 21-15 and driving again. Eddie Green has to be concerned about the variety of offense of the Bears. End of the 3rd quarter. Bill Moss, Dan Jiggets at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, where the Chicago Bears have a 21-15 lead on the Minnesota Vikings. That's Ramos McDonald, the starting cornerback. Looks like he's gotten the hook. And they say he's got a bit of a hip contusion, but
I think it's the hook.
I think so. First down Bears at the 40. Curtis Enos trying to come back. No gain on the play. May have lost a yard. Joe Phillips, number 75, made the stop.
Sam, if you're a defensive lineman for the Vikings, one of the keys you want to do, watch this foot. It comes out before the snap. See his foot come out? When that foot comes out, if I'm a defensive lineman, that's what I want to keep. I want to get off on his foot pulled out. He pulls out his foot before the ball snaps.
3 wide receivers for the Bears. Vikings show blitz. They come with it. Matthews rolling, looking. Nobody open.
He pulled a hamstring.
Pulled a muscle.
He pulled a hamstring.
Matthews is out of bounds at the 35 and holding the hamstring. And now a big decision for the Bears. Cade McNown is getting ready to come in. He's been in for 2 series.
We're talking about that foot. Watch it come out first, Sam. Watch the foot come out. That comes out, and then the ball comes. I'd use that as a key for my pass rush. Of course, he's not going to be in there, it looks like.
Wow. Matthews now being helped across the field, reaching back for the hamstring. Like Brockemeyer, the tackle, goes over to talk to him. He's in some pain. Matthews 19 for 28, 184 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and he has really run the offense beautifully today.
You know, and this is why Dick Duran has worked putting Cade McNown in. He puts him in the 3rd or 4th series of every game, and this is the reason. Because he didn't want a situation to occur sometime during the season where his starting quarterback can't play, and he has to come in and has never been in there under fire.
That's John Shoup, the quarterback's coach, talking to Cade McNown. McNown 3 for 6, 28 yards in this game. His first drive was 3 and out. First possession was 3 and out. Then he drove the team down to the 31-yard line. Jeff Jaeger missed a field goal. So here's the rookie Cade McNown, and it looks like he will have to carry the team the rest of this quarter.
I'm anxious to see him get a lot of reps. See him in there when he knows he's going to be in there for a long period of time.
And right here, he's in on a 3rd and 5. They've got to get to the 30. Glenn Milburn is in the backfield with him.
I think you blitz him right away.
Out of the shotgun. Gets rid of it. Caught by Milburn for a first down. A beautiful catch by Glenn Milburn. He's out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
That was a well-thrown ball. Well-thrown ball. Puts it right outside on the fingertips so only Milburn can catch it. Watch this throw. Look where it's at. That's perfect.
Good hands by Milburn, too.
And they didn't blitz him that time. And they had a lot of protection up front and time to set up there and find Milburn. I think you get a young quarterback, a guy that comes in the guy. I think you go at him.
Let's see what the Vikings do. Wet Knight is lined up as a fullback. Enos carrying. He was tripped up. No gain on the play. Time for an update on the Rams and the 49ers. Let's go back to JB.
Sam and Bill, apparently the young guys of the Rams knew nothing, cared nothing about that 17-game losing streak. They're breaking it in a big way thus far. Warner to Bruce. 4th touchdown catch of the day for Bruce. 5th touchdown toss for Warner. 42-20, St. Louis over the 49ers. Sam and Bill.
Oh, thanks, JB.
Are they having fun in St. Louis?
They are, really.
I mean, just watching the little clips of that stuff looks like fun.
Oh, great start. Great start. Looks like they'll be 4-0. James Allen, the lone setback. 2nd and 10. McNown gets rid of it. Caught by John Allred. His first catch of the game. He's out of bounds at just across the 23-yard line.
You know, and that time they did come with a blitz, but there's a little rollout. That's what's creative about this offense. Watch the play fake here, and then he rolls out the backside. See him stretch everybody this way, then he rolls out the backside so he can throw. They roll out the back because he's left-handed. And there's a defense, especially in the secondary, as you're looking at things unfold, everything is backwards when you have a left-handed quarterback.
Cade McNown going to the locker room. I said Cade McNown. Shane Matthews, excuse me. McNown leading the Bears on a 3rd and 5. The head fake, the throw to the sideline, incomplete. It was out of bounds. Robinson with a leaping grab, but he was out of bounds. And now Jeff Jaeger, who is 0 for 2, will have another field goal try. Well, that was bad news for the Bears to see
Bad
Shane
news Bears?
Matthews. Yeah.
Bad news Bears?
Shane Matthews going to the locker room with the pulled hamstring. This try is 41 yards. It's on the way, and it's perfect. And the Bears needed that one. So did Jeff Jaeger. And he's limping.
Yeah, he doesn't look real healthy.
But he makes a 41-yarder. And the Bears have a 9-point lead. It's 24-15.
Dan, it's all the best thinking by the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be. By 1010-220. Dial it and talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. And by IBM. Are you ready for e-business?
Todd Sauerbrunn set to kick off. The Bears with a 9-point lead on the Minnesota Vikings. A line drive kick. Bo Williams chasing after it. Through the end zone for the touchback.
You take a look at Jaeger here. Watch him plant his foot. His left foot plant, and then the pain shoots through it. He goes right to the ground. That guy's hurt.
No, it's too red. Too dark. This is gonna be perfect.
You can get enough orange and blue to last a season at Lucas Paints in Denver, but bring your Visa card, because they don't take American Express. Visa is everywhere NFL fans want to be.
We have a stand-up in progress at 211 Hazelwood.
He's in there.
Sir, drop the chalupa. Put it down and back away. Sir, don't be silly. Drop the chalupa.
I said, drop the chalupa.
Put it down, man.
Yeah, drop the chalupa.
Get your hands on the new chalupa. With a shell so crispy, flaky, chewy, tasty, you'll wonder why we put stuff in it at all. Just 99 cents. Only at Taco Bell.
Better get some backup.
Roger.
If you were a new luxury car, how would you stand apart from the rest? Would you have the most powerful V6 in your class? Or the largest interior? Maybe you'd offer amenities you couldn't find anywhere else. Imagine how special you'd be if you could claim all of them. Presenting the all-new Infiniti i30. It's all the best thinking.
Television's most original new police drama.
He's dead because you left your post.
Ryan Caulfield, Year One, premieres at 8/7 Central Fox Friday.
Here's a big concern for the Chicago Bears. Two starting linebackers, their two leading tacklers, Sean Harris, number 55, Rico McDonald, number 54, are out with injuries. The rookie Carrie Samuel out of the University of Massachusetts is in, so is Keith Burns. And Barry Minter is moved to the middle.
Well, it's only a concern if Minnesota figures it out and starts running the ball.
From their own 20. It's Robert Smith, and he is running. Hopped over one man, went down across the 25-yard line. Randy Moss has got to be a little bit frustrated. He has not seen the ball in the second half. Big first half. They haven't gotten the ball to him here in the second. 6-yard pickup for Robert Smith.
Go, Brian!
Vikings need 2 scores. Nice hole. Smith popping through and taking it outside. Another big gainer. Ran into Tom Carter up at the 48-yard line. Slow getting up. That was a big collision with Tom Carter.
Well, they did figure it out. Watch Kleinsasser here. He gets the block on Burns. He comes up and stuffs the sink, and then Smith cuts off it. There it is, and then he cuts. See that? There's the pushers, and that's where the linebackers were, but now they're on the sideline turning. Minnesota has figured out, hey, they got 2 linebackers out.
Yep.
Let's get running the ball.
107 yards for Robert Smith, his first 100-yard game of the season. Vikings from their own 48. Cunningham, time, fires. There's Randy Moss at the 32. 20-yard pickup for the Vikings.
Well, there's that linebacker. They're using this now. Watch. Watch the linebackers here bite on the play fake. This is the run. They come up on the run, and that leaves this area here in the middle of the field. See them in here? They're in here. They're not getting any depth in their drops. And there's Moss in the middle of the field. That's a zone defense. Your linebackers have to get depth. You can't let Randy Moss run in the middle of the field like that.
Leroy Horde in the backfield. Fullback position man by the tight end Kleinsasser. Cunningham was flushed out, but wide open is Kleinsasser. And the tight end fumbles. Loose ball. Bears have it. Second fumble of the game for the rookie tight end, Jim Kleinsasser. And the Bears' third fumble recovery. Excuse me, their second fumble recovery, the 4th turnover that they have forced in the game. The rookie Kari Samuel recovers.
He never seems to have a good grip on this ball. He's lost his balance, and there's Minter with a helmet.
And the Bears all around the ball. Well, they found a way. Big hit by Minter. And the rookie Kari Samuel, number 91 on the recovery. Bears ball at their own 25 with Cade McNown at quarterback.
That's 4 takeaways for the Bears defense.
Quick to the outside. Marcus Robinson picks up about 3 on the play.
You come on the road, you come into a division opponent on the road, you take the ball away 4 times, good things will happen.
That's an accomplishment.
Hey, there's a lot of stats you can look at. There's a ton of them. But the one that correlates the most to wins, I believe, is turnovers and the takeaway giveaway ratio of a team.
Clock moving under 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, and the Bears with a 9-point lead. Quick outside to Macy Brooks. Short of a first down. Robert Griffith took him down. Yet another receiver in on the action for the Bears. First catch of the game for Macy Brooks.
And you notice that the offense doesn't change with McNown is in the game. And they're running the same thing. They're going to come at you with all the stuff that they come at you with. It's just another cog in the unit.
Allred lined up as a fullback. Enos the running back. Wet Knight in motion on 3rd and 1. Enos. I don't know.
I don't believe he got that.
I think he came up short.
They got some push.
Good job inside by the Vikings. It's 4th down. Good job by the Vikings defense.
Watch, see the short motion to this side. Anytime they got the offset fullback in the short motion, the guys should be flying because they like to run it up in there. And that's exactly what they did. Dwayne Rudd read that. He read the short motion and attacked the line of scrimmage.
Randy Moss is deep for the Vikings. Sauerbrunn kicks toward the sideline. Moss waits for the fair catch at the 20-yard line. Good kick by Todd Sauerbrunn, 46 yards. Vikings take over.
Good job by the Vikings defense.
Series still alive. That's the Red Sox at home against the Indians. Game 4. Indians leading that series 2-1. 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific here on Fox. Don't miss it. If there's a Game 5, it'll be tomorrow night on Fox. And the American League Championship Series opens up Wednesday night in New York, and Fox will have it for you as well. Cunningham on 1st down, throws for Glover off his hands. Incomplete. Bears going with their nickel package now, Bill.
Well, that's because primarily that the Minnesota Vikings came out with three wide receivers.
Warwick Coleman, a speedy linebacker, is in.
Anytime you have the 3 wide receivers on the field, you're going to go with your nickel package.
Terry Cousin, 5th defensive back in the lineup. Vikings need 2 scores. 8:25 to go, 4th quarter.
Here's Moss down here.
Robert Smith is in the backfield. Short drop, quick to Glover, incomplete again. Hard to tell whether those passes are catchable. Seem to be a little off on the timing.
That one was a little bit low, and Chris Hudson read it all the way.
Now the Bears bring in 6 defensive backs. And here's a big play for the Vikings.
They're going with 3 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 defensive backs.
Leroy Hoard, the lone setback for Minnesota. Blitz coming off the corner. Down goes Cunningham. Flanagan sacks him for the 2nd time. 3rd sack of the game. 2 for Jim Flanagan. And the Vikings hear boos from the crowd.
Well, they had the 3 down linemen in there, but here comes the blitz off the slot. That's what creates the pressure and buys time for Flanagan to keep pursuing and keep fighting through and clean it up. There's Cousin up there. Hoard picks him up, but Flanagan keeps battling.
The Bears came into the game tied for the NFC lead in sacks with 15. They've had 3 today. Mitch Berger, good high kick. Glenn Milburn at the 38. And he's brought down. That's Chris Rogers on the tackle. Rogers with a good coverage. Takes down Milburn after a 49-yard punt.
Phone that's going to be ringing off the hook is Greg Blosh, because people are going to be calling him around the league saying, "How did you do it, Professor Blosh?" But there's the key. There's the formula right there. Blitz, Randall, Cunningham. And Sam, we talked about it earlier at the top of the show, is that's what rattles him. And not only did they get 4 sacks off of that, but they also have 2 interceptions on badly thrown balls when the pressure was in his face.
Now it's the offense's turn. See Randall Cunningham, kind of a quizzical look on his face. What can we do to turn it around? There's John Randall.
I think there's a lot of quizzical looks. I think there's a lot of quizzical looks on the defensive side for Minnesota as well.
Bears from their own 37. 7:41 to go. The toss to Milburn. And the Vikings have it covered. There's a flag on the near side. Check this out. Now another flag. Is that the line judge throwing a flag on one of the other officials?
I think you threw it on the referee. Yeah, I think what had happened, I believe, is when they got in the huddle, they had 12 men in the huddle, and then they tried to run one off because Minnesota was over here doing the same thing. They ran a linebacker back out on the field because they weren't sure what the personnel grouping was going to be.
Illegal substitution on the offense. Number 71 lined up on the end of the line and did not report. The penalty is declined. Second down.
71 is Big Cat Williams, but he didn't tell the officials he was an eligible man on the line, so the penalty against the Bears. McNown putting it up deep for Marcus Robinson. Great catch. Great adjustment to the ball by Marcus Robinson. He beat Jimmy Hitchcock on the play. What a great grab by Robinson.
This ball's a little bit underthrown, but what a great adjustment by Robinson. He sees the ball in flight and adjusts and comes back to the ball. And that puts the defender who's running down the field with him. See, the defender has his back turned to the ball, so when Robinson stops, Hitchcock didn't know what was going on.
So now the Bears in scoring position at the Vikings 26, a 42-yard pickup. Toss to Enos, cuts it back. It's down to the 23, a hard 3 yards for Curtis Enos. Clock running under 7 minutes to go. Marcus Robinson, 7 catches, 85 yards. Conway, who was injured earlier in the game, is on the sideline here.
It seems the Bears find somebody each and every week. And I think this offense allows them to do that.
Ball spotted just across the 23-yard line. Bears have to get to the 16 for a first down. McNown checking off. Gets the play off in time. It's Enos. Spinning, but no gain. Actually a loss of a yard on the play. Robert Griffith was there. John Shoup, the quarterback coach. Here comes Marcus Robinson back into the game. Great story, Marcus Robinson. Out of South Carolina. Second-year man. Fourth-round draft pick in 1997. Gained some very valuable experience in NFL Europe. And has become an important receiver for the Bears. Short drop. Robinson to catch inside the 20. Can't get to the first-round marker. He got away, but finally brought down at the 19-yard line. This is a memorable day for Marcus Robinson.
Well, they're getting the ball to him. They're finding ways to utilize him on the weak side of the formation. There was a touchdown on a slant, and that last play was the same thing. They moved the strength of the formation to one side, and they get the ball to Robinson on the back. And with his height, that's his greatest asset. He's a big, tall receiver that can go up and after the ball, and when he's running the slant inside, his body walls off the defensive back.
Now, Jeff Jager, a 37-yard field goal try with an aching left hip, and he kicks it wide. He missed it. That was a big miss. It would have made it a 12-point game and required Minnesota to score 2 touchdowns.
Watch his plant foot again. He can't plant on his foot and stand up. Watch him go to the ground.
Every time. Every time.
It's that torque. The torque in his body. He plants, and then as it torques through, it's all up there on the left side of his hip.
He is 1 for 4 in the game. And the Bears will have to address that this week. This is a hurting player. Now with 4:50 to go, the Vikings need 2 scores. They're down by 9. Cunningham gets time, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Chris Carter. Frankie Smith covering on the play. There's a guy who's got an aching hip as well, Chris Carter. Going back into the huddle, but he has played well today. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings on their own 27. See the numbers on Cunningham. 19 for 37 in the game, 202 yards, but 2 interceptions. Throws and completes to Jake Reed. Fights off the tacklers. Good pickup after the catch by Jake Reed. His first catch of the game. He gets to midfield.
Yeah, I was just watching that alignment too, and I was thinking the same thing. There's Reed on the backside. He's one-on-one. Hudson has to come up and help out. The safety's got to give the corner some help on that with Reed on the slant. He's got to come in and hit it harder.
Big, strong Jake Reed. Almost a forgotten man today. 22-yard pickup for the Vikings. Both teams have all their timeouts. Cunningham gets time, throws high, incomplete. Reed made the effort. He went up. Just off his hands. Good effort by Jake Reed.
Ball thrown a little high there, and he had an open receiver in Jake Reed. What I don't like is Chicago doing right now is they're only rushing 4 defensive linemen. They're playing a deep zone. Everybody is deep, and I don't know, maybe Greg Block's going to pick and choose, as he has been doing all game, when to create his pressure. But when he has created pressure, that's when things have happened for them.
He's counting on the linemen to create the pressure. Short drop outside of Randy Moss. Got away from one. Finally dragged down. He lateraled it back to Chris Carter. Carter takes it out of bounds at the 39-yard line. First down for the Vikings. Moss trying to get the crowd going. His 7th catch of the game.
He's trying to make something happen here. But we saw Jason Sehorn try to make something happen. Hey, that's heads up by Carter. I mean, Carter pulled that ball in. That could have easily been a fumble. We saw it happen in Philadelphia.
That's right. From the 39, now the Bears showing blitz. They drop back in coverage. Cunningham being rushed and thrown for a loss. Barry Minter, the linebacker, sacks Randall Cunningham. That's officially the 4th sack of the game.
What a nice rush by Minter. Watch Minter walk up and use his hands on Corey Stringer. Watch him swat the hands down outside. I'm sorry, that's Robert Smith. Robert Smith lunged at him, and he just took his hand and swatted him down to the side and stepped around him. Can't leave your feet when you're back picking up a rusher.
Back to the 43-yard line. Vikings have to get across the 29 for a first down. Cunningham goes outside, but Carter fell down. Chris Carter has been in virtually all the way for the Vikings. There's a 3rd and 15 from the 43-yard line. Three wide receivers in. Leroy Horde is the lone setback. Bears again showing blitz. 7-man at the line. They drop back. Cunningham waits and throws. Wide open. Randy Moss, his 8th catch of the game. And he is wrestled down. Helmet pulled off. It looks like he may be about a half a yard short of a first down. This is close.
His little breathe right was peeled off. Everything got peeled off.
They're going to measure on this one. This is going to be very, very close.
Well, they didn't get it. That was all Walt Harris.
And my guess is if they didn't get it, they'll go for it anyway. Inches. About 6 inches. Tony Parrish and Walt Harris stopped him. 8th catch of the game for Randy Moss. He's had 8 catches for 124 yards. His 6th 100-yard game of his career. Make it 8 for 123.
Well, knowing that you need 10 points to win, you want to try to get the touchdown on this drive. You get the short field because you have the capability and the firepower to get downfield as the clocks were winding down here in the fourth quarter to get a field goal, and you have a very good field goal kicker.
Here's 4th and 6 inches. And an empty backfield. Will it be a quarterback sneak?
No.
Cunningham to throw, and it's incomplete.
And the flags come out. They're going to get Tom Carter.
I don't believe that call. But the Vikings may get away with it. I'm shocked at the play call.
Well, when you're on the backside of the receiver, you have to watch where his hand is.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. Oh, the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Watch where his hand is on the backside. If it's hooked around his hip, that's a hooking call. See, he's on the backside. Watch. That's it. It's the left hand. When you're draped around the corner, that's an excellent call by the official.
It is first down Vikings at the 20. I'm still shocked by that play call on 4th and inches. Cunningham's pass, bat into the air, intercepted. Barry Minter's got the ball. Cunningham trying to knock him out of bounds, does. 3rd interception of the game for the Chicago Bears. The ball was batted in the air by Shane Burton. And the defensive coordinator, Greg Losh.
Look at that smile. You see that smile? That's the first sign of emotion he's really shown this entire game. 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, he can now sense it. They're close. It's within reach. Talk about creating pressure. You have to do it with the blitz or the 4 linemen. That time it was done. That was Clyde Simmons, the old veteran, 96, who got his hands up. Clyde Simmons, every time they spot play him and put him in the game, he makes something happen.
He made a play. I called Burton to Simmons in there to deflect it. And Minter on the interception. Turnovers have killed the Vikings. No gain for Curtis Enos. 3 minutes to go.
You know, you bring a guy in like Simmons. Here he is, 96, an old vet. Everybody's looking for an old vet who can rush the passer. See him use the hands on Todd Stuzzi, swat him down, and get those hands straight up in the path of the quarterback.
Minter with a good return to midfield. 5 turnovers. Clyde Simmons was brought in to provide pass rush. He's had 5 sacks this season.
And some veteran leadership, too.
Yeah.
You know, a guy on that defense that's been there, been around a long time for the guys to look up to.
McNown off the play fake. Randall's after him. He's got him. He throws it incomplete. Ryan Wetnight was in the vicinity. 2:18 to go. The Chicago Bears defense.
I'll tell you,
up with huge plays in this game.
I'll be honest with you. I think that's the first time that I can recall any kind of pressure from John Randall or Chris Dolman or their pass rush throughout this game. It's been this quick passing and this untimely offense. It's hard for the defense to get a rhythm. It's tough to get a feel for them, and they can't hone in on getting to the quarterback.
Both teams with their timeouts remaining. McNown out of the shotgun. Pressure here. He runs away. Has some room. Can he get to the first down marker? He does. First down Bears.
Inbounds, too. He stayed inbounds. That was key. That was smart. He saw he got the first down, and he didn't step out of bounds. He went to the baseball slide. Keep that clock running.
And if you joined us late, Cade McNown replaced the injured Shane Matthews early in the fourth quarter when Matthews pulled a hamstring. This is a big run for the rookie quarterback. First down Bears.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite. Taste a true Pilsner.
You know, Patty, I'm convinced men prefer blonde. And what type of men would this be, Daisy? The same type that prefer Miller Lite because it's so smooth. Oh, those? Well, the ones with great taste love Miller Lite because it tastes great. And by the way, prefer brunettes. Oh, if they prefer brunettes, why do they drink a beer that's smooth and blonde? Because it's a natural blonde.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
Yeah, like men care.
the things you can get at the Ace Home Safe Home Sale, perhaps the best is peace of mind. Ace is a place for the helpful hardware folks.
Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
This is awfully sweet of you, Mrs. Anderson.
Well, I like for newcomers to feel at home in the neighborhood.
Well, I'm sure they appreciate it.
I hope so. They seem like such nice people. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Colossa's Bakery can help you welcome some old, new friends to Cleveland.
Thank you.
And I'll need that plate back.
But bring your Visa card, because Colossa's doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Kelso discovers his soft side.
You're way prettier than Bowie.
Well, I'm prettier than you. An all-new That 70s Show, Tuesday at 8:30, 7:30 Central.
Next Sunday, we have a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. It begins with Minnesota at Detroit, Philadelphia at Chicago. The late games, Green Bay at Denver, Carolina at San Francisco. And Chicago natives, Donovan McNabb, Cecil Martin, and Barry Gardner, all looking forward to coming home to play against the Bears, and they're leading Dallas today.
Dallas right now. Chicago's beating Minnesota. Hello, 1999.
McNown keeping it. Hit hard, buried at the 40-yard line. Vikings will call a timeout. They're first. Well, the Chicago Bears have had a master plan to bring along the rookie, Cade McNown, playing him in every game, a couple of series. And he played 2 series in the first half. And when Shane Matthews was injured early in the fourth quarter, here he is trying to protect that lead.
And doing a fine job of it, too. You know, they were down as 3rd and 10. He scrambled to pick up the first down. Had the wherewithal to slide and keep the clock moving. And look at the time of possession. That's one thing. They came into this game knowing, keep Randall and that high explosive offense on the sidelines. Sustain drives. They're very good at making drives. What they haven't been good at is getting points off those drives. They've been able to do that today.
You saw the look of frustration on Randy Moss. There's a hugely disappointed Randall Cunningham. He's thrown 3 interceptions in the game, 8 on the season. Down handing to Curtis Enos, takes it outside. Enos is pulled out of bounds by Dwayne Rudd. Flag comes in. May have been a face mask.
Yeah, I believe it was. I believe he got it. Sure is. Got a piece of that face mask.
Against the Vikings. Minnesota Vikings did not lose a regular season home game all of last season. They're in danger of losing their 2nd home game this season.
Face mask. 5-yard penalty on the defense. Number 57. From the end of the run, results first down.
5th penalty of the game for the Vikes. But the turnovers have killed them. And the inability to put the ball in the end zone when they got into the red zone.
That has been the biggest thing for them this year. Last year, when they got in the red zone, they would score. That was a given. This year, they haven't been effective. Every time they've gotten down there, they've had to settle for field goals or come away with nothing.
5 field goals for Gary Anderson, but not enough. First down for the Bears. Enos stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Tackle on the play by Barry Minter. And the Bears have had a couple of injuries to their linebackers, and they've done a good job. Well, we've got the post-game report following football, and then the Grand Slam of Skating Super Teams Challenge. Some of the greats in the world competing in that. Stay tuned here on Fox. Did I say Barry Minter? My apologies. Dwayne Clemens was the man for Minnesota making the tackle. 1 timeout remaining for Minnesota. And the Vikings, division champions last season, with only 1 loss, are about to go 2-3. Something's been missing. They just haven't been quite right. And a to be a lot of soul searching, I would suspect.
No, this could be a wake-up call, too.
Think so?
This could be the final chapter of last year. This could be it. Maybe after then, now this is a wake-up call. Say, hey, last year's over.
Enos protecting the football is brought down at the 29-yard line. And the Vikings use their last timeout.
Because I think that was a lot of the problem, Sam. When we talked to some of the Vikings guys, you just got that feeling. Everyone talked about last year. No, we're not last year. Christie told us, it wasn't until the first game of this season I forgot about last year. But then everybody brought up last year. And I think in their minds, they just keep thinking that, hey, we are this, we are good, we can score points, and nothing is given to you in the NFL.
Now, how about on the other side? What a game like this does for the Chicago Bears, coming off the miracle win last week when they scored 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes and pulled out a game that it looked like they were going to lose. They get the miracle win and come off of that into their first division game, and look at the way they've played.
They are growing, and you see it every week. And for them, well, they forgot about last year too. And that's the key. And I think this is flourishing throughout the whole Chicago Bears team.
Enos cuts it back, gets around the 26-yard line where he stopped. The Vikings cannot stop the clock. Now, let's see what Dick Duran will do. Vikings still need 2 scores, so they don't have to attempt a field goal. They can run another play.
Take a delay game.
Clock running with 1:15.
Take a delay game. Get some yards. Take another delay game. Punt it.
Dennis Green helpless in what he can do. Dick Duran got to be feeling very, very good. The Bears had lost 10 consecutive road division games coming into this one. About to snap it. Here's 4th down. Enos hit, goes down at the 28-yard line. The ball goes over on downs to the Vikings. With 43 seconds remaining, they need 2 scores. And the Vikings are out of timeouts. Today's game was produced by Michael Burks, directed by Andy Kindle, Associate Director Rich Dewey, Broadcast Associate Tom Yohe, Technical Director David Graham, studio show produced by Scott Ackerson, and directed by Bob Levy. Senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. Executive producers of Fox Sports, Red Gorin and David Hill. Our men in the booth, Gary Linhart, spotter, statistician Emmett McGuire, Fox box operator Ethan Cooperson, and our Chiron computer stats, Mark Sosna. Cunningham gets away running. Got to get to the sideline to stop the clock. Takes a bump, gets out of bounds with 35 seconds. And Greg Blosh with a pat on the back. Well, all of the things we had talked about, some of the impatience of the Vikings. 3rd and 1, they went for the deep ball, got intercepted.
Well, it worked for them once when they marched down the field. They had 4th and 1, and they went on the deep pass to Randy Moss. It worked for them. And that's they have confidence that they feed off of that. But if you take away the deep ball and pressure Randall, they don't have the patience to do all the other things.
Cunningham toward the sideline, caught by Chris Carter, a 1st down at the Bears 47, 31 seconds remaining. Bears playing way back. All their defensive backs playing 20, 25 yards off the ball.
And just look at the body language of the Vikings. Players are just walking to and from the line. I mean, they don't believe they can come back. And I don't think they've ever had to really come back before. Last year they weren't behind. And in the games they were behind, they lost.
4 wide receivers in for Minnesota. Cunningham flushed out. Goes back into the middle of the field to Leroy Horde. Spun around. Clock continues to run as he's down inside the 20. No timeouts remaining for the Vikings.
That's a defensive call. That's not an antagonistic approach towards the Vikings.
29-yard pickup. Cunningham spikes the ball with 6 seconds remaining. There won't be enough time for Minnesota. They will go to 2-3 and 1-2 at home. And for the Chicago Bears, they find a way under Dick Duran to win on the road in a division game.
And that's enormous. That is enormous for Dick Duran, for this young Chicago Bears team.
And this division is wide open. Detroit lost today to San Diego. Cunningham throwing. And the pass is a touchdown. Caught by Chris Walsh. Diving for the ball with 2 seconds remaining. Great effort by Chris Walsh. His first catch of the game.
I bet the replay official reviews that.
Why do you think?
It looked like he slid in there. I'm not sure if Minner didn't get a piece, or they didn't get a piece of him right here. Did they get a piece of him? Is he in?
I think he's in. They're not reviewing it. The extra point is good by Gary Anderson. The Vikings get 7 points late. It's a 2-point game. 2 seconds remaining. But there won't be enough time. And once again, these two teams, every game they've played has been decided by 7 points or fewer.
Less, yeah. And I think for Chicago, that plays the way they've been playing team football. They've only been averaging roughly around 16 points a game, and they've been only giving up about 16 points a game. So it's all come down to 1 or 2 points. But I think if you came into this season and we're going to tell me that the Minnesota Vikings couldn't average more than the points that they're scoring per game right now, and I think myself and everybody in the free football world would say you're a liar. No way. That's impossible. They're the Minnesota Vikings. They got Moss, they got Carter, they got Reed, they got all those weapons, but yet they haven't been able to put all those pieces in place yet.
The Bears with their hands team up at the 40-yard line. The ball must go 10 yards before the Vikings can touch it, or it must touch a Bears player first. Pittsburgher and Gary Anderson switching sides. Berger runs. Anderson kicks. Ball deflected, loose. And the pile up. And the Vikings have recovered. There's a flag on the play. The Bears say they have it. Now one of the other officials says the Bears have it. There's a flag down. One official pointed in the Vikings direction. The other pointed in the Bears direction.
And if you're wondering how come on the clock no time was run off, the clock doesn't start on the kick. The clock starts upon reception.
That's right, once the ball is touched. And the discussion continues. Offside against the Vikings. All right.
Kicking team was offside on the kickoff. That penalty is declined. The clock expired when the receiving team touched the football. This game is over.
There you go. And that's it.
The Detroit Lions. And welcome everyone. Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen. And the Lions started out impressively this year, winning at Seattle and beating the Packers right here. They've lost 2 in a row now. Some of their glow have
right after this.
And that's got to be a big boost for their offense.
Yeah, it could give them a little bit
of... Back in 30 seconds with scores and updates from around.
Heck, if they're not run blocks, they cannot be one-dimensional and win. And if Moore is going to boost them, they've got to get help from up front.
And this team is banged up on both sides of the ball, which we'll tell you more about. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings are 2-3, nowhere near the Vikings of a year ago, trying to get it back, but they have used this game to define their season.
Well, they're going to need something because right now they're out of sync. But if you look at the numbers, they're not that far off from a year ago. What's really been missing has been kind of the big play. That's one thing that you can't really
on both sides of the ball. You can't put in a game plan and say, guess what, today we're going for the big play. That can't happen. They need to be more consistent, and I would expect that they're going to run the football in the middle of that line. That's where they'll gain their consistency.
All right now let's go down to the field and a report from Pam Oliver. Pam?
All right, thanks a lot, Dick. Running back Robert Smith will start today, but don't look for him to play any more than 30 to 40% of the time, according to Dennis Green. Smith has a hernia that he told me has been bothering him for weeks. Surgery has not been ruled out. If that happens, recovery time could be anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. Back to you.
All right, Pam, and Robert Smith has been plagued with injury throughout his career, and that's the last thing Dennis Green needs for his beleaguered offense. Back with the kickoff between the Lions and the Vikings in just a moment. Dome sold out today as it was in week 2 when the Lions beat the Packers, and this is the tightest division race going right now in the NFL. And the surprising team, the Chicago Bears at 3-2, but a game and a half separates first place Green Bay from last place Minnesota and Tampa Bay, and it should be that way most, if not all, season. The Lions have won the toss, and they'll receive Mitch Berger, who has been brilliant as a punter and a kickoff specialist. There is Terry Fair, who has been equally outstanding in his brief career as a kick returner, third in the NFC, and he'll be back for the Lions. Last year, the Vikings beat Detroit handily twice, but that was last year, as we know, and the end over end kick, Fair to return it from the 5. And Terry Fair brings it out with a flag down beyond the 25-yard line. So a penalty on the opening kickoff. Ron Winter is our referee today. And there he is. And that will move the Lions back somewhat. Right now, let's check out the Detroit Lions offense as Ron Winter explains the penalty. Charlie Batch, as Matt mentioned, has not been protected well, sacked 19 times, most in the NFL. The offensive line, Curlin Blaze starts at left guard, and Barrett Brooks makes his first start at right tackle. Ron Rivers and Corey Schlesinger are the backs. Herman Moore returning to action for the first time since he injured a knee in week 1. Johnny Morton, the other receiver. David Sloan is the tight end, and now with the Moore back, Jermaine Crowell gives them 3 outstanding receivers today.
Well, if they're going to use those receivers, Barrett Brooks better have himself a big game.
And they start out with the 3 wide receiver group. First down from the 11-yard line following the penalty on the kickoff. And the handoff, Ron Rivers. And just a couple of yards on first down. The Minnesota Vikings defense, and they have made some changes. Chris Dolman will start his first game, so Dolman and Randall are the ends. Kylie Wong returns after missing 3 games with a hamstring pull at outside linebacker. And in the secondary, the big change today, rookie Kenny Wright, the 4th-round draft pick, replaces Ramos McDonald, who wasn't even suited up today, at cornerback.
He'll be lined up right now over Johnny Morton. They're going to have to protect inside if they want to get the ball out there to try that rookie.
Second down and 9. Batch to throw, and the pass is caught close to the first down. Johnny Morton makes the catch, and it will be a Lion first down.
You know, sometimes you don't even protect them that well, and you still go after the rookie. Charlie Batch got knocked down on this ball, but out here, this is Kenny Wright. He's the rookie. They're gonna start it right away. The Lions are gonna go fast at the rookie to see exactly what he's got. You can see he's given a big cushion. Morton just takes advantage of the cushion. The ball's delivered on time, but not before Batch is hit.
I think you're going to see both teams try to throw today because they think their receivers have the edge on the secondary. First down on the 22. And here is Ron Rivers off left tackle, finds an opening. Ron Rivers with a big gain close to the 45-yard line, brought down finally by Robert Griffith after a pickup of 22.
Well, either Chris Dolman was on a stunt or he just decided to come underneath. You're going to watch him. He's just going to come back underneath inside. See this? Yeah, it looks like he may have been slanting with the backers coming, but a nice job of Schlesinger. And then Ed McDaniel had a chance, just ran right by him. Nice job of Rivers once he gets into that second level, just using his eyes.
And that left side of the offensive line, Ray Robertson, Curlin Blaze getting the job done. First down on the 44. And the screen pass to Rivers. Ron Rivers wending his way toward midfield. And a fumble
And now
he's pointing down.
They ruled that the Rivers was down by contact by the middle linebacker Ed McDaniel, so it is still Lions ball, and they get to midfield. It'll be second down and about 4. Chris Dolman starting, as we mentioned.
Nice job by Blaze out there. Actually blocked them back in, and that ball came out, but they had already ruled him down. And at home, you have to remember, the ruling matters more than the whistle. Once they rule it, it doesn't matter if they whistle that thing 10 minutes or 10 years from now. Once the ruling happens, it's down.
Second and 4. Again, they go to Rivers, going outside to the right. First down into Minnesota territory, inside the 45. Kenny Wright making the tackle, a gain of 6, and the Lions looking sharp, starting from their 11 on the first drive.
You know, Dick, if I put together a team, Ron Rivers is the kind of guy that I want. You know, he doesn't have all the measurables. He's not the fastest, not the strongest, not the quickest, but he has that stuff inside that you can't measure. And he's an overachieving type of guy who does have good skills. You give him a chance, he's always going to rise to the occasion.
And he's getting that chance with Barry Sanders retired.
Who?
Number 20, I think he wore.
Remember him.
From the 44-yard line of Minnesota, Rivers again. And Robert Griffith brings him down in a gain of about 3 yards. The Lions trying to break a 2-game losing streak, and in the first 2 games they said who needs Barry, but in the last 2 games, especially the 37 yards gained on the ground against San Diego, people started to long for Mr. Sanders again.
You know, last week watching this offensive line, they were, in a word, pathetic. They did not play well. We were watching the tape and I said they can't play that poorly 2 weeks in a row. Well, they're off to a good start right now.
Brian Stabline is in at wide receiver to the top. Second and 8. Rivers again looking for running room, and finally nowhere to go. Dwayne Rudd finally caught up with him, and a loss of about 4 yards on the play.
See how he never quits?
No.
He never stops, that guy. He's built low to the ground. He kind of looks like Robert Holmes, the old Dallas Cowboy. From the waist down, he probably weighs about like 260 from the waist down. From the waist up, he's not that thick or as thick. But what he does is he never stops. The guy never quits. They're going to jump on him, and the whistles are blowing, and guys are pushing. And at the end of that thing, he's going to pop right out of that huddle.
And there he goes, like magic. Third down and 11. Crowell in motion. That's getting time, and they're trying to go to Crowell up the middle, but the pass was incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down. So the Lions will have to kick after Charlie Batch brought them from their 11-yard line into Viking territory. And John Jett is in to kick it away. And David Palmer, who's back in action after missing last week's game with a rib injury, very dangerous as a return man. Jets kick fielded by Palmer on the 11. And good coverage by the Detroit Lions. And that was Richard Jordan who made the tackle. So the Vikings get the ball for the first time.
The NFL, an official airline of the Super Bowl.
Minnesota Vikings getting the ball for the first time in the game. Scoreless in the first quarter. After the Lions kicked it, we'll begin from the 17-yard line. There is Randy Moss, who has caught for over 100 receivers.